Alright, so you guys know that the Skewer Dragon is a tavern over on the Dockward, and that was the last place that Floon was seen. So it's the morning time, and if you guys want to do something else, you can, but otherwise, that would be your guys' next destination, I'd assume, because that's where the information might possibly be, where he's last seen.
What time of year is it?
That I actually am going to go with.
Well, so hang on. This is an important decision because for this one, the season you choose changes as far as which ending there is or which boss there is and everything.
Okay.
If you don't know for sure right now, then I'll just play summer or something, and then you can figure it out later. But make sure you decide at some point because that will become at some point it'll become important. I don't know when, but all right. So I'll play the summer day one for now. Cool. All right. So I'm fine, I guess, with just going straight to the Skewer Dragon. Now it was 3 days before, right, when he was seen last.
Yes, I believe it was 3 days.
I saved it in my notes here. 2 nights ago is when he was last seen, leaving with another human. I'm fine with just going there. How about you guys?
Yeah, I'm good. Just travel up.
How far across town is it to get there, G?
Let me go see. I know back here there's a map. I'll take a look real quick.
There might be a city map too. I never use those in my games, but if there is and it doesn't have spoilery stuff on it, then you can share that too. But make sure that it's a player version, not a DM version.
Yeah, I know there is one. Let me see.
Is that an ambulance? Is there an ambulance in Waterdeep?
Guess so. Oh. Okay, well, I'll share this with you. It's not actually a map, but it's still a cool picture of the city there.
That's cool.
This other one, so let me see. I'm just trying to find one that I know. Okay, there we go. Just didn't want to get one that had DM secrets.
Yeah, you definitely want to grab one that does.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Okay, so here is a city map, because again, you guys have probably seen a city map before, and you've been here for a few months or whatever at least, so you're at least mostly familiar with the city, I'm sure. So let's see.
That's not loading for me, and I'm getting an error message that's popping up with it. Are you guys getting that too? A runtime error, or did the picture pop up?
Wddh players.
Yeah, the window popped up. You do have the image? Okay. I'm gonna close it on my side so that this error will stop. Hopefully. Oh, is it that one? Hang on, let me see if I can get it loaded. I think it's because I had the other image still popped up as well. It's not a big deal though. I'll be fine if I can't see the map, as long as we have a general idea of where it is. You guys can direct. Where can I see the ones that are shared? Is it that? No, that was the thing here. There we go. Wddh players. Nope, still not loading for me. Okay, I'm getting an error when I try to pop it up, but it's fine. I don't. I may have to reload at some point. I may have to reload Fantasy Grounds to get if there's a map, like a battle map or anything like that we need. But for now, just go ahead, G.
Okay. Yeah, I'm still looking at that map. It's kind of doesn't seem to have too many. It has the names of the roads and stuff, but it doesn't seem to have any locations of where the Yawning Portal and stuff is. So I'll find another map better for that.
That's fine. But, not important. I was just curious.
Yeah.
So we're just heading across town?
Yeah, so you guys heading over there. And when you guys are actually on the way over there, you guys go to turn a corner, and you actually see, well, you heard some yelling and screaming a bit, and then you turn the corner and you see that there's a group of people around and a bunch of City Watch, which is the guards of the city. They're called City Watch, and they have some people down on their knees. Looks like they're getting arrested, and you see some bodies lying around too. It looks like there was just a fight here. So
bodies is in there actually dead or just knocked out?
Yeah, there's a. Let me find that part again. It says how many there are. But yeah, there's some bloody bodies on the street, and then there's 3 men that are. The watch has them down on their knees, and their weapons are next to them. They obviously were disarmed and are in the process of being arrested here.
Are there any visual, mark? Like, can we identify the 3 that are, or the ones that are, down on their knees that are being arrested? Like, are they clearly from a particular faction? Do they have the eyeball on the head, that kind of thing? Any identifiable tattoos or markings, that kind of thing?
I'm sorry, exactly which location is this happening in? Like, what street? Where are we?
You guys are... Okay, so you guys have made it to the dock ward. So, that's where you guys are at, and it does not actually say the location exactly.
Is there a marker on the map that says dock ward?
I'm going to have to see if I can find a better map, because that one I don't know if it even said the dock ward on there, that Waterdeep map. I'll have to find one.
Yeah, I see a Tradst ward, I see a City of the Dead type of thing, and then an unlabeled at the top.
The map I found is huge. Okay, that's fine.
Yeah,
we don't necessarily need it.
Yeah, it was a really big map, and it wasn't super detailed and everything. Where everything is. But no, there's nothing really identifiable about them. They're all just sitting there, and everybody's staring at them, and they're just staring back, and none of them seem like they have any kind of remorse for what they apparently just did. So
based on context clues of how it appears, then does it look like the 3 that are being arrested are the cause of the dead bodies, or was it the City Watch that killed the others? Like, the ones that are dead, are they of this same group? Like, was it a group of this guild or this gang or whatever they are?
Yeah, the 3 that are down there, none of them have any kind of identifiable clothes or anything like that. But there's 6 bodies. Yeah, there's 6 bodies on the ground. You're not sure who was who, but there's 3 people left, and they seem like they all know each other, because none of the 3 that are down on their knees don't seem like they're pissed off at each other. So they seem like they were on one side. They may have lost some friends as well too. You're not sure who was who, and so no, it doesn't look like the guards killed them. It looks like there was a fight going on here. The guards found it, broke it up. So,
okay. All right. Well,
I mean, they definitely whooped the guys' asses, but they didn't kill anybody. So just to get them down, get their weapons off them.
And none of them appear to be. I mean, basically the fight's over with. There's really nothing to do. Just the City Watch is already arresting these 3.
Yeah, it's already totally under control now. These 3 have been disarmed, and there's a group of people around, but the City Watch isn't letting the people get anywhere near there's tons of guards, and they're making sure that nobody gets near there. There's probably about a dozen guards there, and they're making sure that nobody gets anywhere near the prisoners, or soon-to-be prisoners. So
the group of onlookers, then, I want to kind of subtly sidle in with that group, and ask whoever appears to be the most intelligent, or at least the person who's paying the most attention, just kind of quietly ask them what happened.
They say that they heard some guys yelling at each other, and then there was 2 groups fighting each other, and they are pretty sure that the guys that are down on their knees are part of the Zentrum gang. So they don't know for sure, but it seems like it was another gang dispute between the Xanathar's people and the Zentrum. So,
having been in here for a while, we probably have some idea, I guess, but we had some awareness of the Xanathar's guild with the ones in the tavern, the ones that were fighting there, that Yagra, I think her name was, punched. But the Zentrum, do we know about them? Are they good guys? Are they bad guys? Are these just a bunch of different criminal gangs that are fighting each other, and therefore they're all bad guys? Or are the Zentrum good guys, and the Xanathars are probably bad guys because we know they're a criminal gang? But
they're all none of them have any kind of official affiliation with the city, at least that you know of. They're all essentially just criminals,
okay,
for the most part. So
All right. Well, I'm just going to shrug then. I mean, it sounds like they got what they deserved. If there's a gang fight between two rival criminal gangs, I'm not too concerned about that. How about you guys?
Yeah, no.
Okay.
Yeah, if I just ask around, just general onlookers to see what their feelings were about it, just see if I can get a biased opinion from some.
Is this down off of an alleyway, G, is what you said? Like you said that we turned a corner, so we like turned down an alleyway heading out to the dock ward or something?
Yeah, so not long after you guys got into the dock ward. Again, on here, on this part, this actual little thing, it doesn't really explain a whole lot. Like, it doesn't say the corner of the streets that you're on or anything like that.
Yeah, you can always just make that up, though. It doesn't matter. Like, at least on the map I'm looking at, like, there's a main street called Ship Street, and then there's a bunch of little alleys like Prosper, Street of Six Casks, all over in the dock ward. Like, you could just make it anywhere. Like, especially if you know where if our goal that we're heading to, the skewered dragon, I don't see that so far. But basically, if you know where our target is, then you could just pick whatever random area around there would fit. But it doesn't exactly matter. I almost never use city maps for this reason because it really doesn't make much difference. Unless it's a city that you're actually going to be in for a long time. Which actually, in this case, I suppose it probably would. So it's probably good if we have a city map for this one. Anyway.
Yeah, I'm gonna look and see because there was it was not super detailed, but I'm pretty sure there was a city map for the players within the context here, because I just searched maps and searched Waterdeep for that one.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll find a different one, and then I'll have a better idea, so then I can make up where stuff like this happens,
sure.
Or whatever. But again, you guys are in the dock ward, and you guys, when you guys keep carrying on the way that you were going, you look and see that Skewer Dragon is not far from where you guys are. You can see it, and then also you guys can see another shop over there catches your eye too. Everything's kind of purple. It looks like a very strange looking place. And then there's one other place that catches your guys' eye too, with a sign that says Fantasy Costco above the top of it. But then there's a big banner that says opening soon, so they're not quite open yet.
Okay.
But there's going to be a Fantasy Costco in Waterdeep now.
What time is it? Because it was midday, I think, ish, when we were at the tavern with in the yawning portal where we met Wddh. Wasn't that midday?
Yeah, it would have been midday, evening, something like that. But you guys did stay the night because you guys wanted to get some rest after your fight in. Wddh was
oh, that's right.
To pick up your guys' tab for you.
I forgot about that. All right,
you guys have rested, so it'd be morning time.
Okay. All right. Well, if it's morning time, then
7 to 8, something like that.
Does the skewer dragon sound like there's any noise coming out of it? Like, are there people in there?
Yeah, you can definitely tell there's people in there.
Okay.
And when you can tell that it's definitely not a very nice place. This entire place seems like it's not. It's definitely not safe, for sure. It's like the ghetto area of town, I guess you can say. Like,
okay.
All the buildings are run down. Some of the windows are broken out, stuff like that. Like, especially the both of the front windows of the skewer dragon are broken out, and it actually has a giant anchor smashed into the roof of it. So it's
like a real one, or is it like an art piece?
No, it actually has an anchor.
How does it? Well, I guess if there's an airship that dropped it or something, I don't know how you'd pull that off otherwise.
Yeah, I'll read the actual thing. The skewer dragon looks like a ruin. Both of its front windows are smashed, the front-facing ones, and a ship's anchor is lodged in the roof. So I don't know if it broke all the way through the roof, but there's a ship's anchor in the roof.
Sure.
So, and then you can see, looking through the broken windows and stuff, you can't see that there's a group of people in there drinking. So
it's 7 a.m., 8 a.m. So these guys are serious about their drinking. I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you want to check out this purple shop first, or head straight into the skewer dragon?
Kind of want to poke our head into the purple shop, see what it is.
Yeah, I'd be curious to check it out as well. Jesus, you fucking goals! Shut up.
That's what happens when you're by the water.
Yeah, they're fucking loud. Like, I'm looking for them in the list here so I can turn. There they are, goals. Okay. Esther got all upset. She thought I was yelling at her. You're not a goal dog.
And when you guys are getting close to the shop, you see it says Old Zoblob Shop on it. And everything in there is purple. Like, almost everything in that entire place is purple. And you see a gnome back there. And I will actually find that picture of him. And he is who you would assume is the shopkeeper.
Old Zoblob? Z-O-B-L-O-B?
Yeah, Z-O-B-L-O-B.
Okay.
And he's sitting there. He's smoking a pipe, and it's got purple smoke coming out of it.
Right.
The gnome is wearing he's wearing all purple too, like plum-colored robes, and his cheeks have like face paint, not tattoos, but he has 9 purple tattoo or face painted eyes on his cheeks. So
okay,
not
so
tattooed,
he's probably at least affiliated, if not directly representing Xanathar then, because that sounds like that's their identifying mark is tattoos or facial markings anyway, of eyeballs. So since he's a beholder, that makes sense.
Yeah, you guys did see the guy. I'll have to look up his name. I can't remember, but the guy that got knocked out by Yagra in that tavern brawl. You remember he had actual tattoos though of eyes on his head.
Yeah, his name was, at least in the combat tracker, you had him labeled as
Krintz?
Krintz, yeah, Kurtz or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, he was the one that was fighting with Yagra. He was the one that seemed like he was the leader of that group of ruffians.
Yeah. Now I forget. Did the others have eyeball tattoos as well, or was it just him?
No, it was just him. The rest of them just didn't really stand out much at all. And he had that shaved head with the eye tattoos on his head.
Okay, all right. So that could be a mark of some amount of leadership. It might be a lieutenant in the Xanathar Guild or something like that, which means this gnome could potentially be of a similar importance. So.
And when you guys are, he sees you guys and says, "Hey, come on in. Come check my stuff out. I got lots of trinkets and curiosities on my shelves here." And when you guys are passing by, you do see that there is a stuffed beholder sitting in the window.
Okay.
And that's what it's named after. Is after that stuffed beholder. That's apparently the beholder's name is Zoblab. So.
Okay. I'm going to feign some amount of ignorance. I would have put some of this together already, but I'm going to feign a certain amount of ignorance then, and just smile politely and ask him what's with the eyeballs. The painted face paint.
He says he actually took this shop over. And it was known as the old Zoblab shop, and then he actually changed the name, and people didn't seem to like that, so he just named it back to the old Zoblab shop, and Zoblab is the little stuffed beholder over there in the corner. So.
But your fanaticism went so far that you're painting your face every day?
I'm just double checking this. I'm making sure I don't say anything I'm not supposed to say out loud. Give me a second here.
Oh, good. We're all patient. This is only your second session, so you're doing just fine.
Yeah, he says that it's he's not related to the little eye thing in there. It's just he likes the whole feel of the shop, because that's what it was before, was about Zoblab and everything was eyes. And when he tried to change the name, he tried to change it up a little bit, and the people just didn't like it, and business went down. So he said, whatever, he'll just change it back and name it back to Old Zoblab shop, and then he just kept the theme going. So it's kind of just a theme.
Do I believe him? Make an insight check?
Yeah, make an insight check.
All right, so here's what you do. So this is how you do this roll. If he's lying, you don't tell us whether he's lying or not. What you do is, you just saw my roll there. I got an 18. I actually should have thrown that in the dice tower. But you're going to, on your side, roll either a deception if he's lying, or a persuasion if he's telling the truth, and then compare it to that 18. And then you'll tell me if he's, basically if he's lying and he gets like a 3, then you'll tell me that I feel like he's lying. But if he's, you use that, you kind of would have a bit of a range. So that, if it's a 15 and I've got an 18, maybe I just feel like maybe he's not telling the whole truth, something like that. Does that make sense? Like, you basically kind of scale it a little bit.
Yeah. And then on here, there is a thing on here for Zoblab here, the shop owner, but I don't see skill.
Oh, he goes by Zoblab?
Yeah, he calls himself Zoblab.
Okay.
So, and there's the strength index and everything, but I don't see the skill. So should I just roll a charisma?
Okay, so what you do, it would be his charisma modifier. But what you do for this, insight is on my side was wisdom. But what you do for that is, when you see the stat, does it show you the modifier, like a +1, +2, etc.? Okay, then you would roll. If you have his NPC stat block there, just roll a flat d20 in there. It's going to be shadowed to us, so we're not going to see it. And then you're going to just, in your mind, just manually add what his charisma modifier is.
Cool.
Now, if you have an actual NPC stat block, then you can double-click on it. What the fuck noise is that? I think it's supposed to be a cart traveling down the street or something. Anyway, so if you... Oh, there's one for Old Zoblab Shop. There we go. Oh, it's spelled with an X.
Yeah, sorry.
Okay.
Did I say Z?
Yeah, I thought it was a Z, so that's what I wrote down. So.
Yeah, I didn't understand. Sorry, I thought you
All
said
good.
X. Yeah. But
So,
okay, with that, I just rolled a d20 and then did the modifier. Like, is that?
Yep.
No,
Yeah, you would just, if it was
Yeah.
a -1, you'd subtract 1. If it's a +3, you just add 3, etc.
Based off of that, you can tell that he is. He doesn't seem like he's a terrible person, but you can tell that there's a little bit of dishonesty there. Like
Okay.
again,
Like he's not telling the whole truth.
Yeah, you don't feel like holy shit, he's going to try to fucking kill us or lock us in the basement kind of dishonesty, but it's just there's a little something that he's not talking about, that he's hasn't mentioned, kind of thing.
Okay. I need to move my truck. Victoria's loading some things up. Can you hold on like 2 minutes for me to move my truck to the front?
No problem.
Everybody okay?
Yeah.
All right, get back. All right, get back. Oh, hush. Damn it, dog. Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that.
No problem.
Everybody here?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yep.
And this is not actually a picture of Zoblop, but it is what he looks like in general.
Okay, so he's not a regular gnome. He's got dark skin and everything.
Yeah, he's a gnome, and you notice that he doesn't have any hair at all.
Okay.
And again, he's got his face painted with the little things. He's wearing all purple
Okay.
and purple robes, and wearing smoking a pipe that has some purple smoke coming out of it.
Okay.
And in the shop, there's trinkets everywhere. That's pretty much what this shop is basically just little pointless, well, seem pointless, trinkets. So, he loves trinkets. And almost everything's purple.
What is the most interesting you sell in here? This seems like mostly little minor things that, I don't know, folk like me probably wouldn't be too interested in.
We're mostly knickknacks. It's kind of just for fun, gift shop, almost, kind of thing. But we do have plenty of things. Give me just 1 second. There's a little thing that has a list. Give me just 1 minute.
Sure.
And then I'll let you know some of the details. So.
Do you guys need anything in particular before we get in depth into this investigation? Like, is there stuff you guys need to pick up at any particular store, even if they're not, not at this one? Anywhere else that you guys need to shop with before we go into the Skewer Dragon?
I think I'm good for now.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Okay. There's a couple things I'd like to grab, but I can grab it really at any time. I don't know that I need it immediately, so probably next time we pass a store of general goods.
And some of our more interesting items, we actually have vials of dragon's blood, even a scale. People are always, they love dragons, so we get some pretty interesting stuff from around the world. Those things usually sell the best.
Probably pretty expensive, though, I'd imagine.
No, actually they're not. Yeah. Sorry, I was just looking at the prices here. He's like, no, surprisingly they're not. A couple of silver pieces for a little small, tiny vial of dragon blood. Scale set you back 6. We have other stuff too. Like you'll see, there's a caltrop made out of bones. You'll also on the shelf you see an ornate scabbard that fits no blade that you have found so far. And there's a silver teardrop earring.
Are any of these of particular use beyond just, an odd knickknack?
From what I see on here, I think they are just knickknacks. Like they're called trinkets, like out of game. They're called trinkets, and they don't seem to have any actual use that I can see. But I will check into it further. So.
Oh, good. I was just curious.
I might double check. Because right here, it basically just makes it seem like they're just knickknacks, basically. So.
Well, I don't see much that interests me. How about you guys?
I think I'm good for now, unless you have anything having to do with bees. I'll pass.
They'd be purple bees, though, Sako. I don't know if you want the purple bees.
And Zoblab says, I don't really have much to do with bees in here, but I've heard that Fantasy Costco sells just about everything, so I might have to go over there and get myself some bees if they have some when it opens.
So I found us on the map. I found the old Zoblab shop and the Skewer Dragon. We're actually on Fillet Lane, or Fillet Lane. It's Fillet. So Fillet should only have one L, so I assume that's supposed to be Fillet. And which is basically off of Snail Street and Fillet Lane. So do you guys have that on your map? In the dock ward? It's inland a little bit. It's not right on the shore. If you look at the Way of the Dragon, which is a long road that goes north to south, southwest of that, basically, you should see Net Street and Snail Street. Do you see those?
I'm looking now.
I can't see the map you guys are looking at, so.
Okay, yeah, there
I
it
see
is.
the high road. I see. Is it near?
West of the high road. West of the high road is the Way of the Dragon. It just basically runs parallel almost. Do you see that one?
I just see the high road. I can't go any further left of that.
Yeah, either can I.
Okay, because the high road is way on the east side, unless the map is flipped upside down. Like the high road is way on the right. Like there's a lot left of that, a whole lot, like almost the whole city. That's only a small, like maybe a quarter of the city is to the east of the high road. It doesn't matter anyways. I was just curious. What's that?
Oh, if I move my map all the way to the upper left-hand corner, I see the high road up against the left-hand side of the screen, and the first parallel street is Tarnoth Street.
I don't see.
And there's nothing to the left of the high road.
Okay. I don't see Tarnoth on here anywhere, so it's. I'll restart Fantasy Grounds at some point, and then be able to see the same map you guys are. But I can tell where it at least is, where it is on here, so can get us an idea of where we're at from this, since it doesn't seem like it's on the map that you guys are looking at. So all good though. But nothing else for me with Zoblob here. So.
Okay. Did you guys, Sako?
Good.
Or Babe? You guys want
no.
to carry on?
No, I was standing kind of like right outside the door with Ghost. Just, I don't want to go in there. Everything's purple.
So just out of curiosity, as we're stepping out, I'm going to ask him, so what's with all the purple?
It's my favorite color. I've always loved purple. And the shop was purple before too, and you know, like I said, I wanted to pretty much keep it the same. It didn't work so well when I tried to change the theme.
I'll just nod. I'll just tell him, well, you're a weird dude, Zoblob. So just I guess keep on going. But we're gonna make our way out of here.
He says, "Nice to meet you," and he says, "Oh, thank you, young lady, for not bringing that giant beast in here. He might have eaten some of my trinkets."
Yeah, no, he won't unless I tell him to.
I did make a half decent lion token. Hopefully this one will work until the artist gets back. Actually, it should be soon though, because it's been 3 weeks, I think, so we should be getting it here soon. Anyways, go ahead, G. I'll drop it in Discord so that Becky can see it and see if it works for you.
Okay. All right, so you guys.
Yeah, step back outside. At least from the map I have, it looks like the Skewer Dragon is just across the street and to the right. But if there's nothing else we need to do ahead of time, we might as well just head over there.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it says Skewer Dragon's in an alley that runs between Net Street and Filet Lane. So.
Yeah, that's what I see on my map here.
On the map, yeah. Okay. All right,
Yeah, that
so
works.
you guys heading inside?
Yep. We can see from the outside that there's an anchor smashed in, and it's all, windows are broken, all that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yeah.
Before we actually head through the door, I want to step up just to the, on the landing basically, and just kind of listen at the door, like not ear to it, but standing outside the door a little bit, just kind of listening for the kind of, let's say, atmosphere that's going on inside. Is it raucous? Is it quiet? I mean, we heard people were in there drinking already at this hour. So what does it sound like?
It's definitely raucous, and it sounds like you hear a lot of people saying names, so they seem like they're familiar with each other, like the same general people coming in for the most part, because this is not really not nearly as nice as the Yawning Portal. So, I mean, a lot of people are kind of afraid to come here. So it seems like these are regular patrons from what you can hear, and they're loud and boisterous and clanking their tankards together and cussing. And
is it jovial though? Everybody seems in a good mood and having fun. Or are they arguing?
No, yeah, they all seem to be getting along with each other just fine. You don't hear like any cursing, or you don't hear any fighting. Nothing being knocked over or broken. Just loud gambling and cussing and talking. So.
Okay. What do you want to do with Ghost, Akasha? You want to bring him in, or?
If they'll let me.
How big does it look inside? Like, is there room for a lion to go walking around without knocking shit over?
Yeah, it's a decent sized place. Again, it's not the size of the Yawning Portal, because that's probably the biggest tavern I've ever seen. But yeah, it doesn't have a giant well in the center of it. But yes, it's a decent sized place.
So we probably don't have to worry about trolls climbing up through the floor.
Probably not.
Okay.
But they might come in through the hole in the roof, though.
Trolls with wings, that'd be great. All right.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to step inside.
All right. Akasha, Eldor, you guys coming in too?
Yeah, I'm gonna kind of keep my distance a little bit, just so I don't look like I'm walking in with them.
Okay. And is Ghost coming or staying?
He's going. I'm just gonna make him stay super close.
Okay.
I'm going to feign some emotional injury at how hurt I am that Eldor doesn't want to be seen with me. As I step in, and let him have his distance so he can not be seen with us.
All right. And when you guys head through, you notice that even before they see you, because Rav, you're heading in first, the atmosphere seems to quiet down. Like they're not talking nearly as loud, and they're all kind of looking at you guys. And that's when they just saw you. And then when they see Ghost, then they all kind of seem a little nervous. Like they don't, get up and grab their weapons or anything, but they all seem a little nervous. Like, why the hell is there a giant black cat in here?
I want to scan the room across all the tables. Then, do I see anybody that is an obvious, representative for well, I guess the Zentarum didn't appear to have any identifying marks that we've seen, but at least for the Xanathar's Guild then? Anybody with eyeballs, things like that?
No, these guys look like regular. I mean, none of them have any martial weapons with them, really. I mean, just simple daggers and stuff just for protection, but none of them have any armor. There's not any shields pressed up, leaning up against the wall, or helmets sitting on the tables or anything, so you're assuming that these are just
like blue-collar dock workers, that kind of thing?
Yeah, that's exactly what they are. They're dock workers. So.
Okay. All right, and we are coming in, of course, pretty heavily armed and with a lion, so I could see where their caution comes from. I'll just, hold my hands up politely. Just relax. You guys can go back to your drinking. We're not here to cause any problems.
They say, all right, just to make sure that giant cat doesn't eat anybody. We're not used to having a whole lot of strangers around here, so.
I don't know. You guys probably smell a whole lot like fish, so I'm not going to make any promises, and I'm just going to walk over to the bar.
They laugh. Yeah, right.
Who's behind the counter?
There's a man standing behind the counter, and it doesn't say anything in here in specific, so it doesn't really have a name or anything. I'll just make one up if you guys.
Yeah, you would just make it up.
Ask.
I keep meaning to give you the random generator thing, but yeah, you would just make one up in that case. Like it's something you'll get used to over time. You'll basically be able to kind of just improv through that kind of stuff. Just give a simple description, what they look like, race, general height, weight, things like that. And you wouldn't necessarily say a name yet because I wouldn't know his name. Does that make sense? We didn't ask him his name yet. And as soon as we walk in, he's not going to go, "Hey, I'm Bob." You know what I mean? Like he'll maybe with a natural introduction or whatever. But at that point, you don't necessarily need a name yet. Is all. So.
Yeah, and again, when you guys came in, even like they said, they're not used to seeing a whole lot of strangers, and you guys, they're not. They don't seem like they're going to try to attack you guys or anything, but they just don't seem like they really care too much for strangers. So, there's nobody going to introduce themselves like that, I'm sure. So, but the guy standing behind the counter is actually younger than you'd assume for a guy that's working at a place like this, because he is also, you'd assume he's a dock worker too, because they all talk to him like that, and he smells like fish as well.
Mm-hmm.
So, but he also runs the bar when he's not out there, and a younger guy, brown hair, human, probably, average height, 5'8" or so, nothing real standing out about his features. But the other guys seem like they're a little bit older, so he kind of stands out a little bit, like they're all been doing a lot longer than he has, probably.
Okay.
So they all seem a few years older than him, at least.
Subservient to them or anything?
No, not at all. He seems like he feels totally comfortable around them. So maybe he was, introduced to it earlier or something like that. But they all seem like they're pretty friendly with each other. So.
All right, I'm going to walk over to the bar then. I'll pull out, because I don't have any change yet, I'll just pull out a gold, and I'm going to be tapping it on the counter, just holding it between fingers and tapping it on the counter. Look back at Eldor and Akasha. It's a little early, but you guys, want to drink?
Sure.
The dogs think so.
So I was
music.
Okay, so I was curious if it was, because it didn't sound like your guys' dogs, but I wasn't sure if it was in the Sirenscape thing or not, because it wasn't mine, because my dogs are laying down. But
okay, yeah, then yeah.
Apparently, there's a dog in the backyard or something.
Well, that's what your
ours
cats
are
do.
passed out.
Yeah, mine are laying down right now too. So,
Mm-hmm.
and Sako doesn't have them. His cats don't sound like that.
Nah,
Toki don't sound like that.
Nah, Toki's just stupid.
Stupid enough to bark like a dog, though, maybe. Well, you guys want to drink? I mean, I don't know. I'll turn over to the bar owner then, or tavern owner guy, runner, whatever, barkeep, whatever, and ask him if he has anything non-alcoholic.
He says, "Yeah, we've got some tea, we got coffee, water, not too much, but."
I'll take a bottle of vodka, a whole bottle, whatever these guys want.
Do you have a bowl?
What's that?
Do you have a bowl?
Okay. At first, when you said that, I'm like, why would I want to drink vodka out of a bowl? And then I remember, oh yeah, we got a cat with us. Maybe I want.
That's good. All right. Now with that, I don't know if it really says on here. Would there be a way for me? Because I'm sure stuff like this has a general cost, doesn't it?
So
over or under sell it.
Yeah, if something like a bottle probably wouldn't already be readily available, because that's not meaning that the store would have it, but you wouldn't have a price list directly readily available. So what I would do
sell entire bottles. Yeah.
exactly, like that's not something people are going to ask for very often. There's a specific reason that I need that, but that's not something that a shop is going to just generally have as in a price list, because people, most players aren't going to be ordering that. So what you want to do is you always want to have Chrome running in the background, or Firefox. Actually, Firefox would probably be better for you, since that machine is the CPU on that, it will already tap out pretty quickly. But either run your browser basically in the background and just have it open before you even start the game, and then just type a new tab or make a new tab. D&D 5e. How much for a bottle of alcohol?
Yeah. Okay.
And just Google it, find a price. Like now, sometimes some things will be on your DM screen, which I didn't give to you yet. Basically, you'll want to put this inside your OneNote. You'll always have your OneNote open as well. And in here, for example, let's see, I've got merchants and services inside this one. Leatherworker, Faith Services, General Store, Adventuring Supplies. Yeah, this list doesn't have it either. So in this case, basically, I would look through there, or Control F if it's nothing there. If there wasn't a listing for it, then I would just Google it. And this one doesn't list much either. You can just make a price, though. It doesn't matter. I would say probably look at how much one of something costs, and then just multiply it by however much you think a bottle would take. So does he have a listing, or is there a listing for how much his alcohol costs?
No, there is not.
All right.
Yeah, because actually in here it doesn't even mention anything about keep. So that part is I just improvised. So.
Okay. All right.
But I'm sure I'll go look and see how much is a drink or whatever on D&D, and then figure it out from there.
Well, since this is a pre-written one anyways, you could probably do something like the name, which is the Skewered Dragon. You could probably just search that menu, which is what I just did. And this page doesn't list it either. It just lists the place, but not what the menu is. Doesn't matter. Just make up a number. It wouldn't be. It'd probably be like half of a gold, so like 50 silver or 5 silver rather.
Okay, then that's fair enough. So you are asking the barkeep if you can buy an entire bottle?
Yeah, and whatever these guys wanted.
He says, an entire bottle? Most people don't really ask for that. That's kind of odd. He must have had a bad day already. So, yeah, I've got some down here. Let me see. He reaches down under the bar. It's, he's facing you, but he's kind of ducking down and looking up under the bar, and you hear some shifting. And he pulls out a bottle of some clear alcohol and says, well, how about five silver? I'd never really sold an entire bottle before. Does that sound fair?
Yeah, that'll work. And I'll flick the one that I was holding and tapping against the counter. I'll flick that over to him, and then take out whatever these guys want out of the change of that.
All right, big fuzzy man. Lady, what can I get for you?
Just some water in a bowl.
I'll do water as well.
You can have a glass. Oh wait, it's probably for that big giant cat behind you.
Yeah, he gets pretty thirsty. He's black, so soaks up that heat.
I'll ask Eldor. Would it be offensive to assume that you probably drank milk a lot as a cow person, or is that racist?
It depends on who you're drinking from.
Okay, I didn't mean directly from the source, but I was just curious. No harm intended.
Yeah, I'm just gonna have a glass of water.
All right. And so he 2 glasses of water, and then he grabs a bowl and puts some water in it and sets that on the counter. He says, "There you go for the kitty cat."
I undo the cap and take a good long swig out of my bottle, and then put it in my bag.
Okay. Did you take the money out of your inventory?
Yeah, I did.
Okay. And then I can just add stuff to your inventory from my side, right?
Yeah. You just go straight to the inventory tab. Now, it's kind of a pain because the inventory in here is annoying for how it works. But basically, what you would do is if you just go to the bottom. I'll go to my inventory tab. You'll see spear, and then you'll see worn. Click where it says worn, so that you're in that field, and hit enter, and it'll make a new line. And then on the new line, on the left side of it, type bottle of vodka, and on the right side, do !B, and it'll sort it to backpack.
Okay, sorry, it was lagging there. ! First or after on bottle
First.
vodka?
No,
Okay.
no, not it's not on the vodka. The bottle of vodka has no !
Okay.
So just bottle of vodka there. And then for the second line, the one on the right, do !B, and it'll automatically fill in backpack for you, and just hit tab. Don't hit enter again, just hit tab.
Was that correct? Oh,
You
Uno.
you drop the capitalization off of backpack, so let me change that real quick. And there you go. Now it's sorted correctly. So all good. It's done.
Sweet. Alright, so now you have that booze in there. And he asks, so what brings you folks to this tavern? Don't really get too many strangers coming in this place, especially with big giant black cats.
We're looking for somebody. Apparently he was here a couple nights ago.
Okay. Who could it be?
Well, first, I mean, were you working, 2 nights ago, evening before last?
I was here a little bit earlier and then I left, but these other morons around here are pretty much around 24/7, so they might actually be able to help you more. Because if it was in the evening time, I left at about 5. So.
All right, yeah,
There
this was actually, it would be 3 nights ago now because we slept the night previous. But well, then, of these folks here, who is the least drunk? I'm asking him this, and has potentially the best memory.
He says, go check over there. That guy, the older guy with the white beard, short guy with the belly, he is here pretty much all the time. He never really leaves, so he might be a good place to start. And he points over. There's a guy sitting at a table, sitting with of his description, sitting with a couple of the guys at the table, drinking and talking.
Okay. I'll nod at him then, and he gave me my change back, right?
Yes.
All
Yeah.
right. If it was just water, I don't know if he charged for that. All right, so just 5 silver then. Okay.
Water was free, yeah.
Okay. All right, I'm gonna head over to that table. What about you guys?
Are they like in the middle of the room, or are they close to a wall?
They're over, kind of in the corner.
Alright,
It's the
then I'm
same
just
place
gonna-
that guy always sits.
Alright, then I'm just gonna lean up against the wall with Ghost laying at my feet.
I'm gonna stay leaning against the bar with my back against the bar. Just kind of keep an eye on the room.
Okay. And when you look around, you do see again nobody's hostile, but they're still talking quiet. They're not nearly as loud as they were, and they're definitely kind of looking at you guys.
But it
Like,
doesn't. It
why are
doesn't
these people
seem.
here?
It doesn't seem tense. Otherwise, it's just a matter of us being strangers.
No, not super tense. Just tense in a way of like, well, why don't these assholes leave so that way we can get back to having fun? But nobody's putting their hand on their belt or anything. So.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm gonna head over to the table then. I guess I'll talk to McDudson. Before, actually, as I'm leaving the bar, then I'll ask the barkeep. Then what's his name? This guy I'm going to talk to.
Oh, his name is Jerry.
Jerry. All right. What is he drinking?
Somebody's coughing there. He's just drinking ale. Big giant tankard of ale.
Does his look full? Like, is it glass? Can I see it?
No, it's not see-through, but he just took a drink and set it down, and set it down pretty hard, and nothing splashed up over the side, so it's
Okay.
at least half gone.
Before leaving the bar, then I'm gonna ask the barkeep then to get me another one of those.
He says, yeah, sure, coming right up. Another silver piece, please. Would that be too much?
It'd be a little bit on the high side, but it doesn't matter.
Okay, so like a half.
Actually, you know what? Okay, yeah.
half.
In that case, because I wanted some change anyway, so yeah, we'll do 50 silver or 50 copper,
Okay.
or sorry, 5 copper, because silver is a dime. So
Okay.
cool.
Yeah.
All right, so I got some change
5
now.
coppers for a nail.
Cool. Then I'll take that and head over to his table where Jerry is.
Okay. And when you head over there, you see that for some reason there's a rooster with him, and the cat looks at the rooster, and the rooster doesn't even notice the cat, but your ghost is kind of licking his lips, looking over at that chicken.
Is the rooster on the table?
Yeah, the rooster's sitting on the table.
Is there an empty spot at the table?
Yeah, there is.
All right, I'm going to, ignoring all three of the guys that are sitting there, I'm going to walk up and sit as close to the rooster as I can, and I'm going to set the mug down in front of it and be like, I'm talking to the rooster. I'm going to say, Jerry, we need to talk.
And the old man with the gut and the white beard looks at you and says, "I'm Jerry. That's little Jerry."
Oh, okay. Well, I got confused. The barkeep just told me to come talk to Jerry, so he didn't specify or big or little, so I just thought it was this guy.
Well, you can try talking to little Jerry over here, but yeah, I don't think he's going to say too much except for "Bok bok."
All right, well, I'm going to say to the chicken then, little Jerry, I hope you won't be too offended, and I'm going to slide the tankard over towards Big Jerry on the table and say, all right, so we were told you were here a couple nights ago, and you may have seen something. Is there any way I can convince you to maybe share us what you might have seen?
Well, I'm here every night, and I see a lot of stuff, so I don't know. What are you looking for?
3 nights ago now, a friend of ours, well, a friend of a friend, by the name of Floon was in here. He's a human, well-dressed, friendly. He's not very bright, wavy red hair. And he left with another human man. And that was the last he was seen, and we're trying to find him. So I was hoping you could give me some information on what you might have seen.
I don't know. I could help, but I'm an old man, and my memory just gets a little fuzzy. So
well, that's what this here ale's for.
Maybe I didn't.
Yeah, but this here ale, I mean, come on, this it helps improve anybody's memory, right? Get you just to that same state of drunkenness you might have been that night.
Yeah, that's true. Well, little Jerry, what do you think? And little Jerry taps his little claws on the table, and he says, "Well, all right, since you got me an ale, maybe I can give you some information. So, would you please make either an intimidation or a persuasion check for me?"
This was persuasion. This was as polite as possible. They seemed like decent folk, so.
Okay.
Let's see here. Which sucks, actually, because I'm proficient in intimidation, but not proficient in persuasion.
AFK second, guys. I'll be right back.
But I got a natural 20. So.
All right, hang on. I'll be right back, guys.
All right, dude. You played any more Zelda so far, Sako?
Honestly, no. Haven't picked it up for probably about a week.
Yeah.
A week or so. Yeah.
I had some more extra free time when I did, so I was able to burn through it pretty quickly. I really enjoyed it, though. Like, I would say, if you're just playing something else or whatever, just don't forget and come back to it, because it's definitely worth it.
I was actually looking at GameStop, and I almost pulled the trigger. I was just thinking of buying an old Nintendo and the game. It's only going to run me like $70, $80.
Really?
Yeah, because it's the older Nintendo. It's not the new Switch or whatever it is. And
oh, you mean the Wii U?
Yeah, the Wii U.
Yeah,
They're
okay.
cheap if you buy them used. Oh,
that's cool. I didn't know that. Because there was actually the Prime trilogies on there as well that I wanted to replay again. But I'll probably just end up emulating it. It just, the controller emulation sucks for it, because it's not the emulation that's the problem. It's playing it with that kind of a controller is not the right way to do it. But apparently it's great if you just play it with keyboard and mouse, like an old style shooter. So I'll probably do that at some point.
Yeah, I'm pretty close to just buying a used one. I figure if it breaks in a year, big deal. All I need is just a month if I just sit there.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Plus, if I'm finished with it, you could borrow it and just beat it as well.
Well, I went through all of that already. I didn't 100%. I probably won't, just because the DLC for it annoys me. How kind of dumb it is. There's basically the DLC for the main one is this fucking motorcycle thing, and it's just so anachronous and doesn't fit the setting that it irritates me. So I don't want to play it. Like I don't want to see it. You know what I mean? It feels like it would poison the memory, I guess, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I understand.
Okay. Alright, and with that 20, Jerry says, "Yeah, actually, I did see a guy that looks like that with the red hair here the other night. Hang on, I just need to read this part real quick and then
No problem.
get the description. Yeah, Jerry says that he hasn't seen that guy back here since then. The 3 nights ago was the last time he saw him here, and again, he's every night. And the man with red hair hasn't been here since then. And they saw that he did see him drinking with a guy that had brown mustache and beard, kind of shorter guy, well dressed. I think the man with red hair called him Molo, something like that. Those 2 guys were drinking over here the other day together.
Maybe Volo?
Volo, yeah. Yeah, I think that's what it was. He was the guy that wrote that book, wasn't he? That Guide to Monsters?
Yeah.
That is that same guy.
Well, I mean, that is, but that's not who the person I'm talking about is specifically. They may have been in here together a few times, but specifically 3 nights ago, was he seen with somebody else?
Well, he was with that Volo guy, but that guy left. And then the man with the red hair was still here. And he was sitting here, and then another guy came in. And this guy was really fancy dressed, actually, too. And at first, I didn't recognize him, but then I looked a little bit closer. And because it was, odd to see guys that fancy dressed being here.
Mm-hmm.
And it was Rainier Neverember. I know that guy. He's one of the nobles in town. And he's always, looking down at other people because he has more money than they do. And those 2 were here drinking for a while. They were playing some poker. And then they got up and left. But then when they got up and left, I noticed that it was either 4 or 5 other guys got up not long right after they left and left right behind them. So.
Rainier, is that how it's spelled? Rainier?
Yeah, let me double check. I think I might have wrote it wrong. Look on the actual thing.
No problem.
So make sure. Yeah,
it doesn't.
Renaer.
Oh, okay.
Neverember. Neverember. Rainier Neverember.
Renaer. Okay. All right. The chat they were having, let's say after Volo left and Mr. Neverember was talking with him, did you overhear anything? Were they discussing anything obvious? Was it loud? Did it sound jovial? The conversation they were having?
They were much quieter than everybody else because when we're usually pretty loud in here, and they were still fairly quiet. And as you can tell, we're not as loud when strangers, because we don't like strangers. But even with that lower level, they were still talking a little quieter than everybody else. I couldn't hear what they were saying, but they seemed very friendly. I didn't sense any hostility or anything in either one of them.
So you didn't overhear anything of potential value for helping us find Floon here?
Yeah, I'm not sure, but where they might have gone off to, what they were talking about, I don't know. But they left, and it was 5. It was 5. I remember now. Actually, there was 5 men that followed them, and I've actually seen those guys before. They always are hanging around this warehouse over on Candle Lane. And then little Jerry Magox, and he's like, "Oh yeah." Little Jerry says, "Look for a snake symbol on the door." That's the warehouse that they've been hanging around.
Symbol on the door. Okay. That's a big help there, Jerry. Did you happen to see when they left, what direction they went? I mean, they went out through the door, of course. Did they take a left? Did they take a right?
They went down past. I saw them passing that purple shop. So sorry, I don't remember the street names, but that's the direction they're heading. They passed by that purple shop that has that weird little short gnome in there working.
Okay, that would be Zastro Street. Okay. So they crossed the street and then went down that Zastro. Okay.
So last time I saw, they were in front of that shop, and then I went back. Just happy to have those stupid nobles out of here. Always thinking they're better than us.
Well, it sounds. I mean, we got at least something to go on there. So that's been a big help there, Jerry. But how about Mr. Neverember? Where would we find him if we needed to talk to him?
You go talk to the family. If you need to find out more about him, they're definitely a prominent family in town.
Well, we're new to town here a bit, so where would that be? Where are the Neverembers? Do they have a manor somewhere in town here?
That's something I'm going to have to look. I'm sure they do have a manor out of game.
Well, I mean, if
But I'll have
just don't worry about it. You can just improv this portion of it. If is that something that Jerry would know? And if it is, he could give me a general idea of where it is. Ben doesn't necessarily need to know it at the moment, if that makes sense.
Yeah, Jerry's just going to say they're a prominent family in town. They're going to live. So.
Okay.
I don't know exactly where they live, but they've been here for their name is known in this town.
Okay. I guess with both Akasha and Eldor kind of far enough away, I'm not sure how much you guys have overheard. I mean, you potentially could have heard, but as far as interacting, do you have any other questions that you would need to be close enough, of course, to yell the question or something? But do you have any other questions for Jerry?
We're a little weird.
No, but I do have one question. While I was leaning up against the bar, looking at the room, as Jerry was talking, was there anybody else looking at their table, trying to eavesdrop?
Yeah, they're for sure nothing real hard. I mean, but they were definitely curious as to what the strangers were talking to Big Jerry and Little Jerry about. Because again, they don't get too many strangers in here, so eyes were on you guys for sure. I mean, they weren't literally sitting there staring at you guys, but everybody was trying to just quietly pay attention to what you guys were doing. What Rob was talking to Jerry about. They were trying to pay attention.
To expand on Sako's question there, and this isn't something that Rav would be paying attention to. He would be kind of relying on Eldor and Akasha to be scouting this basically. But your answer there, did any of it look like it was an intent kind of like? Did it look like potentially malicious or conspicuous eavesdropping, or is it just curiosity? Like these guys are just in here drinking every day, and who are these strangers? Or is it something Okay.
Just curiosity, because these guys again don't see too many strangers, and lives pretty much consist of fishing and being on boats and drinking.
Okay. Does that answer your question, Sako?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, Jerry, that's about all the questions I had. You've been a big old help, and I'll pat him on the shoulder, kind of friendly like. Strangers aren't always all bad, so we appreciate your time here. I'm gonna, but very sternly, shake my finger in Little Jerry's face, though, in his little stupid rooster face, and be like, "You need to lay off. You've had enough already. This is too early an hour for you to be this drunk. So you need to watch your manners, and you behave."
Big Jerry says, "Hey, he had a big fight yesterday. He just needed to relax, okay?"
He's just getting the meat tenderized, and maybe a cautious friend here might want a snack if he doesn't behave himself.
Don't you eat my chicken, mean cat.
Oh, I'm just gonna stand there and smile and pet him.
Jerry and Jerry are just kind of looking at you like, you better stay back.
I'm gonna stand up and pat Big Jerry on the shoulder though, and tell him thanks again, and head back over to the bar where Eldor is.
He says, "No problem. I hope it helps, and thanks for the."
Yep. If we have some more questions, I'll come on back and see you. So enjoy your day drinking.
Quest update. What you guys know?
Is that a thing in the pre-made module? Like, do you just click that and it comes up? Like, is it? That's cool.
I put this up, and then there's, depending on where you guys went and what you guys did, it's like share this quest one. They did this, and
that's really cool.
Or whatever.
That's cool. I mean, I'm keeping notes anyways, but that's really handy that it's kind of built in like that. It's a clever idea, especially when it comes to something like an investigation like this. So
it's a lot easier for me too, because I can sum up stuff here instead of having to skim back through the pages.
Yeah.
So it's even easier for me.
Yeah.
So.
Son of Waterdeep's previous open lord. Okay. Well, guys, Akasha was leaning against the wall, not near the bar. You know what? Unless you guys need anything else, let's step outside and then we can talk.
Yeah,
I think I'm good.
All right. Then you guys step on outside, and as soon as you guys do, maybe 30 seconds or so, a minute later, you hear the volume start to build back up, being just as loud as they were before you guys came in.
Okay. Well, so what I learned from the old drunk there, there's a warehouse that basically the 5 men that followed out after Floon and this nobleman. Apparently they frequent this warehouse that's a few blocks out, so it's not too far, and apparently they just went down this street over here, and I point to the street across the way when they left. So that's probably our best bet, for following up next. After that, if we need to, we can go potentially meet up with that nobleman if we can find him, and see, if assuming he's still alive or still, around. See what he remembers, I guess, from that night as far as his last time of seeing Floon. I do want to point out too, though, that what Volo offered is an insane amount of money. So there's got to be more to this. I mean, he offered us the total that he offered for the three of us is 330 gold to locate one person. I mean, that's more even for a rich person. That's a year's salary to find one person, a friend. So I mean, there could be something suspicious about that as well, because that's an insane amount of money for finding a guy that's only been gone for a couple of days. What do you guys think?
Yeah, that was a lot.
Yeah. I think he's keeping something.
Yeah, it seems like there's got to be something else going on. Plus, I mean, Volo had been here drinking in this, and Volo is, by his description, when we met him and everything, probably not necessarily the type to have frequented a bar like this. Doesn't seem like a regular, and clearly they're very cautious around irregulars. Not the normal folk that are in here, and Volo doesn't fit in. So him being here would already be a little bit suspicious. Anyways, Floon also, as described, he's well dressed and probably not the blue collar type to be living in or coming into a bar like this. Certainly not a man that's willing to spend 330 gold to find. That kind of a man wouldn't be frequenting this place either. So there's definitely something suspicious there. But our next bet, probably the warehouse. What do you guys think?
Yeah, that was the direction they went, right?
So they went up the street. There, where that warehouse is, let me see if I can find it on the map, actually. They went down Zastow. Okay, so there's apparently a shop on that street. Okay, well, you know what, I'm not going to say this because I don't want it to be any kind of a spoiler, but there's apparently a shop on that street if we go walking that way that has a very interesting name. So, do you guys want to head down that way? See if we can find this warehouse with a snake on the door?
Yeah. Probably be easier to find them than the noble.
Yeah, especially because we don't know where the noble... There's probably a nobleman's quarter of some kind, or a rich folk quarter, so... Okay, then yeah, we're going to head down the street, down Zastrow, heading north.
Okay.
Now, there's an interesting shop that is basically just past the old Zoblob. It's a block down from there on my map. Do you have any other mention of shops on that way? Because I want to read the name out loud. If I just don't want it to be any kind of a spoiler in case it doesn't say anything else, just the name of the shop.
No, because the next thing that it has you guys do on here and the pre-made thing is when you guys see the warehouse.
Okay. All right. So just past Zoblob shop, there's actually a place called the Purple Palace, which is next to that. But just north of that, basically a block up, is a shop called Aurora's Realm Shop, Slut Street Catalog Counter. Literally, it's this. That's what it says. It's right there on the street. Anyway, I just saw that. It's like, what? Like, is this like some kind of a red light district? Because it didn't seem like that. But all right. So yeah. Well, I guess we'll head up this way and just keep an eye out for a warehouse with a snake on the door.
All right.
Oh, let me change the. Go ahead.
This town could use some Robitussin.
there's a lot of coughing.
And when you guys get on Candle Lane, you notice that the buildings are really tall here, and it's so tall that actually the sun doesn't even get down to street level until it's noon, at least, because the buildings are so tall here. And so it's, even though it's day, it's still relatively dark here. And you've noticed that a lot of the street lamps you'll see were broken and the candle's missing. But you do see one street lamp, though, when you're on Candle Lane itself, and it still seems to be lit, but it seems like a different, it doesn't seem like it's just natural flame.
So it seems like it's arcane, like it's a magical source of some kind?
It seems like somebody did that, so that way there would be light here, because any time they try to replace the candles in the street lamps, people just fucking steal them. So it's usually pretty dark here, again, with the buildings being so tall even during the day. So somebody, what seems like it's not a natural flame on a candle here, is still one street lamp intact. So
okay. Yeah, it sounds like it's just ironic for the name of the street, but any visible warehouse, like, is this a industrial style area? Are there multiple warehouses that we're going to need to look for, or is there an obvious warehouse that we're looking for?
Well, once you guys are looking at that, when you see the lamp, that still has the thing lit up. You actually look across the street from that, and you see there is a building that has a black winged snake on the front of it. So, I'm sorry. Excuse me, above the door handle. So.
Okay. Well, guys, it looks like that's probably where we need to go.
Sounds about right.
So keep in mind what we're looking for here. Apparently, the 5 men who followed Floon and Rainier, Lord Rainier, came here. We can probably piece together that they followed them with ill intent, so they probably were attacked, meaning that we could be walking into a fight. So just be prepared just in case.
Is there a way we can look at sides of the buildings or walk to the back of the building to look for any type of exits?
Yeah, that's probably a good idea. We should probably scout the place first.
Alright, I'm gonna leave Ghost sitting at the front door.
Like right at the front door? How far back?
Like right next to the front door.
Okay. Alright, Eldor, you want to go one way, Akasha and I go the other?
Yeah, I'm good with that.
Okay. Just you're the biggest, least likely to be, plugged over the head with a blackjack or something. G, the building, is it like in a row, or like basically is the building standalone? Can we walk all the way around it, or is it attached to other buildings so we can't get all the way around it?
No, you guys can get all the way around it. It is behind a fence, but the gate is not latched, so you can walk in. And when you guys are walking around the building, you see that there's the front door, of course. There's a big freight door, like a roll-up door that they do for loading. And then there is a window that's been painted over that you can't see through it. That's what you see so far. And the front door has a peephole on it, too.
Has people on it, or like we see?
A peephole, sorry.
Oh, a peephole. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
So so all the doors are like there's nothing open. All the windows are painted over. You can't see anything in, and the doors are all shut, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Looking around, does it look like we're being watched? Is there somebody up on a roof, or is there a window on a second floor that we're being looked at through? Anything like that? Have we been noticed?
You don't feel like you have. It's quiet, but there's no real way for you guys to see inside, so there's nothing loud coming from inside, and there's nobody out that you've seen yet.
Okay. You said there's a gate. Does that go into like a yard and then come around to a back door or anything like that?
Yeah. When you go through the gate, the warehouse, there's a little outer yard area, and then you get to the warehouse. So, and the gate does not have a lock on it.
Okay. So there's only the one main entrance then, right? The one with people?
Yeah. The big bay door, the front door with the peephole, and then that window that's been painted over.
Does the window look like it opens, or is it like static? Is it permanently, like is it built to be permanently closed, or does it have a means of opening it?
It can be opened, but it's locked.
Okay.
When you try to jiggle it.
Okay.
I'm assuming that's what you were doing.
I wasn't really going to jiggle it yet. I just wanted to see if it looks like it is capable of being opened in case somebody tries to run out through there or something like that. Can we see that window from the door, or is it, like around the other side or something?
Let me read a little bit further. I think that's actually all in the front. You may not be able to get... Let's see. Okay, it doesn't really say anything.
Okay.
But that's what it says, the 3 things you notice about the building. So,
it's fine. I was just curious.
Big bay door and front door.
Yeah, Sako had the right idea. I just wanted to have an idea of scouting the place first, so.
Mm-hmm. That's good. At this point, I'm still just reading on. I didn't get a point.
You think what?
I'm reading from the thing as you guys are asking, so I'm sorry if it takes me a second to...
No, dude, you're fine. That's
this much prep, and I'm just going straight off the thing right now.
Yeah, that's totally fine. That's like that you... The sooner you get used to that, the better, because that's kind of the bread and butter of it is kind of essentially improv. Even if it's prepared improv, it's still improv. So you're doing fine. That's exactly how you want to be doing it. So you're doing it the right way.
What I was doing before is I was just taking this stuff and summing it up on OneNote. Easier to get through.
That's fine too. Yeah, I mean, eventually you'll stop needing to do that, but that's good just for you to remember details ahead of time and that kind of stuff. So that's a good idea for now. So, All right, guys. Well, it doesn't seem like there's, a door for anybody to try to jump out of. And if it's just that one window, if we go in and somebody gets spooked and tries to rush through it, maybe Ghost can catch them.
Yeah. Have him go sit by the window.
That's a good idea. I guess, he probably, might be a little scary on the inside anyways, trying to, if we're trying to politely knock on this door. I'm not sure if we're going to get a polite response back, but we might as well at least be, the social high road for them instead. You guys ready to knock and see what we get?
Give it a try.
Yeah, I don't think I'm not gonna prepare for a fight, but I'll definitely have spear ready if I need to, or hand on a dart or something like that, and just knock on the door near the people.
Okay.
I'll stand back away from it too, so that after I knock, so that they can see me through the people.
When you guys when you guys knock, you actually do hear a bunch of what sounds like movement in there, and then they kind of stops for a second, but what sounded like multiple people moving as soon as they heard the knock, and then stopping, and then it's quiet again.
Okay. But no response to the knock?
No.
I'm gonna knock louder.
Okay. Alright, and when you do that, then you actually see. Alright, then when you knock again, you see, well, actually, let me see. Okay, yeah, and when you knock again, you don't hear anything.
Well, guys, it sounds like nobody's home. I'm gonna say that loud enough too, so that it's. I'm gonna move away from the front, so that I'm not visible through the peephole anymore. And I'm just gonna say that loudly, so anybody there's almost certainly somebody on the other side of the door, but I'm just gonna say that loud enough that they hear that, and then move away from the peephole and have my hand on the on whatever door handle there is. Not turning it yet, just kind of ready. And then I'm gonna nod at Akasha and Eldor to, so that we can go in as soon as they're ready.
Yeah, I'm just gonna get narrow ready.
Yep. I'm making eye contact with you, so you're good.
Okay. All right, then I'm gonna turn the doorknob. Spear in hand, just in case. I'm not not holding it up, but just spear in hand, kind of tip pointed downward.
Alright, and when you go to turn the knob, it actually does. It's not locked, so.
Okay, then I'm gonna open it, and does it swing in or out? Does it swing towards me or towards the inside of the warehouse?
It goes in.
I'm gonna turn the knob then and push it open, and step to the side just enough that I can see in there to see if there's somebody behind the door. Does it swing all the way open?
Yeah.
Okay. Nobody appears to be near the door.
No. When you open it up, you look and see that the place looks like it's been kind of trashed. There's tables and chairs tossed across the floor everywhere, and you also do see that there's about a dozen bodies lying along, and their weapons are nearby them. Look like they were obviously left here after being
a fight. Yeah, but there was clearly a battle of some kind.
Mm-hmm. And on the north side of the area, there's stairs that go to second level. That's
north side of the inside of this warehouse.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
but we did hear like talking and noise from the inside that stopped when I knocked, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. It had to have been far. Like it didn't sound like it was from directly on the side of the door. It sounded like it was inside this. It wasn't these guys. These guys didn't die between when I knocked and now. So actually, you know what? Actually, before we even step inside, how long does it look like the bodies have been there? Are there flies on them already? Does it, is the blood congealed, or was this a recent thing?
No, it does. It's not too bad yet. The blood's dried, but there isn't any serious signs of too much rot yet. So it doesn't seem like it's been too terribly long ago that these people died. So.
Okay. Well, guys, it looks like the plot thickens. You ready to go in?
Yeah, let's go.
Yeah, I'm just gonna kind of walk in, but scan the room, like the walls, anything on cabinets, chests.
When you're looking around the room, you do see there's not the room itself. There isn't too much interesting stuff, but when you look at the bodies, though, you do notice that there are. Let me see how many of them.
It said 12, I think.
Mm-hmm. All of the bodies have leather armor, and there are 5 of them. 5 of the bodies have a black tattoo of a winged snake on each neck. Or 5 out of the 12 do.
What are the other 7 then? Do they have any identifying common marks between them? Like, do they have eyeball tattoos? Do they have the other guys that we saw that were in the alleyway that were being arrested? Like, is there something? Is there any common trait that I can tell between the ones that were in the alley and the other 7 here, or even just these 7 by themselves?
The guys in the alley you did notice had snake tattoos as well.
Okay.
Now I'm almost definite that's how it is in the story. I'll have to double check, but
okay.
I'm almost definite that's what it's supposed to be. And now you guys have all
right.
seen, that there's a snake tattoo on the 5 of these guys here, and then that's the same symbol that was on the warehouse. So. And then you also do notice that one of the other ones not snake tat, but when you look, you have to get a little bit closer to see this one. But when you look on one of them on their right hand, has another black tattoo, and it's a circle with 10 spokes radiating out from it. On the hand, right
that
hand.
could be a badge of rank of some kind. But it's one that does not have a snake tattoo, right?
No, he does not have a snake tattoo.
All right. So it could be representation of another criminal guild or something. But whoever these snake people are, or this this warehouse belongs to, presumably. These 5 are probably the ones, of course, that followed Floon. So we definitely need to investigate the rest of this warehouse here. I don't want to go digging through the bodies before we've kind of secured the area and made sure that it's, because there's voices in here, so we know there's people. So no other entrances that we can see, right? There's just a window that goes outside from this floor, and then there's stairs going up?
Yeah, there's the window, there's the big bay door, there's the door that you came through, there's stairs going up.
Akasha, since there's nobody near that window, and it doesn't look like anybody would try to run for that, maybe you think you could talk Ghost into just guarding this door for us here? If somebody tries to run out, then he can take a bite out of them before they get too far.
Yeah, and kind of let us know if somebody's coming up to the warehouse.
Can he bark? Like, does he have a? I guess lions roar, right? I mean, he can roar,
yeah,
right?
he can roar.
Does he have like a whistle? Can you make like an owl sound so that we know if someone's coming, like a specific whistle?
Didn't we already have a conversation about barking cats earlier?
Yeah, it's come up again. All right, then.
Okay, where's Ghost headed? Sorry.
To stand in front of the front door that we just came through.
Well, when Ghost goes walking by, you actually hear a squawking kind of sound. Like he had startled something that was hidden that over there, because they didn't notice Ghost at first, but you hear kind of a squawking sound, and then you see 4 bird-like humanoid creatures stand up that were hidden. So, and I got to get this ready, the map and everything, but you guys are going to roll initiative, so.
Okay. Yeah, go right ahead.
Okay. Did you guys want to take like a break real quick while I get this loaded?
Yeah, we can. I probably need to reload Fantasy Grounds anyways, because at least when you shared the last one, I got an error. So let me try closing Fantasy Grounds and reconnecting while you're getting everything ready.
Okay, guys. So I'm going to get that started, and then also I'm going to go AFK just real quick, and then I can get set up. All
right, G.
That encounter.
Okay, I'll still be here. So, but Becky and Sako, if you guys need to take a break or whatever, go ahead.
Cool, guys.
I'll be here.
I don't want to look at the next part because I think it might be, the sound thing might be a spoiler, because there's a couple of different bird type people. I'm hoping it's not one, because there's one that an NPC is coming up in before too long. An NPC is coming up in Embers that would have been, you know, a fun surprise, but might ruin it a little bit for Becky.
Harpies.
So I guess there's more than, yeah, I mean, I was thinking 2 type of like humanoid ones. There's 2 that I'm familiar with at least, but yeah, there are like a bunch of kind of hybrid type like harpies and things like that too. All right, so it's probably the recording one that's crashing. Let me close that one as well. Do. This is an interesting campaign so far. Some of the pre-written ones I really like. You know, I would have liked to go through too. So I'm glad that you know, I actually get to play one. It's a lot less work for Ben, and I actually get to play, you know, the modules that I've always thought sounded cool. I just never got to actually look through really. Either of you guys think you might want to run one Monday, even if it's just a one-shot?
No, probably not.
Really? How come?
Maybe in the future, one shot.
Yeah. How come, Becky?
I don't know. I just, maybe if I get more comfortable with it.
Well, you've seen, you know, Ben preparing a little bit now, so I mean, you have a little bit of an idea of what the background of it looks like. Is it just, does it seem too daunting as far as how much work it takes, or
No,
just be nervous running it or something?
Yeah, just nervous running it.
Okay. You adapt a lot quicker than you'd think. Like it seems it's definitely actually is pretty awkward. I loaded the wrong thing. I loaded Embers. Whoops. It's initially a little awkward, of course, but you get over that part quick. As soon as you're, especially if you know, for this, like running it from a pre-made, I think that probably makes it a little bit easier too, because you know you have answers. Even if you have to read for a second, you already have the answers there instead of having to improv and make it up. But improv is eventually the key. Just takes time to get there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ooh.
What?
I can pick out speak with animals here pretty soon once I get more spells.
Can't
And I
you?
can actually talk to ghosts.
Okay, yeah. So you can already talk to him. He just can't talk back, but you'd be able to, you know, understand him talking back to you then too if you did that.
Yeah.
That's cool. All right, let me change the recording one back on. There we go. What the shit? Reset cache. Well, hopefully I can actually get the map, because I got an error again when I tried to load back in for a pre-existing image. Yep, I'm getting it on both clients too. I can open some of the earlier ones. Why can't I open the... Yeah, I still can't open the other map. Alright, well. Probably too many image files, like too large on that side, I'm guessing. Because I have a bunch on my side too. Well, let's give it a shot when Ben gets back here.
Okay, let me set it up here.
All right, yeah, if you have a map, go ahead and try to share it real quick, G, because I think I'm still getting the error.
Okay.
And if I do, then I'll need to restart. So I just want to know, you know, ahead of time so we can get it restarted before.
All right. Should I just to test? Should I share it to you before I get the icons and everything on there? Just to
Yeah,
make
that's
sure
fine.
it's gonna work.
Yeah, that's fine.
Give me just 1 second.
You can drop it straight to me if you just grab the little info tag for it, the little I button, and drop it on my portrait in the top left.
Okay, give me a second. I got it. It's actually one of the ones from that DM pack. Had
Nice.
a map for this.
Cool.
So I'm gonna get that loaded over into the images thing real quick, and then I'll have it ready for you.
All right.
And then I'll get the tokens and everything on there too.
Yeah, if I've got to restart, then you'll be able to throw all the tokens and everything on there. You can actually do that ahead of time too. It's just there's a little bit of a trick to it, but that's the stuff that I was telling you about. That you usually you want to log in, half an hour before the game time to set your map up, put your tokens on it, and things like that. Get your audio ready to go, all that stuff. You do that ahead of time so that you're not doing it during the game, because you can already have it all ready to go and just minimized in the corner. And then when you're ready, you just bring the map back up and share it to everybody. I'll show you how to do all that.
Yeah, it's just because I, again, didn't have all this prep already done. Next time I will, though.
No problem.
So that way I can get this part done, because I just wasn't sure into it yet. And then also next time I'll take more time to actually...
When you get used to it, you really don't need to spend much time prepping. Like even for yesterday's game, for example, you guys all three seemed to really enjoy it, and I spent about an hour total prepping that. And that's a huge difference. Like for normally for a game like that might have taken me 6 hours or 8 hours to prep normally. But eventually, once you start getting better at how you prep, being more efficient with it, then it doesn't take much time at all.
Okay, so just take the little icon for the map, the little like red icon thing, and drop.
Yeah, exactly. Just drag that over, drop it on my portrait, not on my character sheet, but on my portrait in the top left.
Should be coming. I think I got it right.
All right, so I have the gray window, no error message yet, and it hasn't loaded.
Center room hideout.
It does say center room hideout, yeah. Okay, well that's what's next on here. Okay, I didn't click on these yet. I'll go ahead and click the audio for that one, I guess. Although looks like I'm gonna have to restart because the map is not loading, and I'm just getting an error message. Okay, let me restart real quick. Oh shit, hang on. It did load. It just took a long time. Okay. Yay! All right. You need to set a grid on here, G. So let's do that. You need to do that before you start placing your tokens anyways. And actually, go ahead and turn the mask on too, because you probably... do you, assuming you want a mask on this, do you?
Yeah.
Okay, so right-click on the map.
Okay.
And then the bottom right one will look like 3 squares stacked on top of each other.
Layers.
Yeah. And then enable mask. It'll look like a party mask.
Okay. That is did.
Yep. Okay, good. Well, now it grayed out, but it's grayed out because you masked it. So then what you want to do, now that you have the mask on there, is you want to reveal what area we have seen already or area that we're in. So now that you're in mask mode, if you draw like a rectangle, draw a square on the map, it will reveal it. If the line is red, then it's reveal. If it's blue, it's cover again. So if you needed to recover stuff, you can do that too. But reveal what area we're in. And then you need to set a grid on there as well. So what you want to look for is look for a door, or look for something that you know is about a 5-foot thing. Usually doors are, or if there's like a floor tile, things like that, those are usually 5 foot. Sometimes you'll see like a pillar, like a pillar that supports an upper floor, things like that. Look for something that you know is about 5 feet, that is to the right scale. And then you want to right click on the map, go to layers again, and then set grid. It'll look like a hash mark. And then draw a square that fits that size. That makes sense?
Mm-hmm.
So do all of that, and then once you have the grid on there, and then you reveal the area that we're going to be in, then go ahead and put our tokens on the map as well. You'll need to drag them from the combat tracker, though. Can actually play this decently with just one screen. I'm a little bit surprised. Even with that map is really big, and I can still fit. Well, the map itself, you have to zoom and everything, but trying to run the game, you definitely need a lot of extra space. But you don't need so much when you're just playing it. It seems like.
Okay.
If you've unmasked an area, I don't see it yet.
Yeah, sorry, I'm just going to get the tokens on there and stuff first.
No problem.
So, and then I need to look at the map and see where it is, as you guys... I think I get it, but... Get it, so...
We'll find the front door, and we're just basically inside of that.
Yeah.
And normally when you prep this stuff ahead of time, you would, throw the things like the dead bodies. You'd have those tokens on there, things like that. And then these bird people. You said there's 4 of them, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, yeah, well, I already know what they are then. Fucking Sirenscape. God damn it. Oh. Yeah, that is really annoying.
Yeah, it's fine since you already know what it is. I'm just going to leave my identified.
Well, I do. Ben and
Actually,
Sako and Becky don't. So.
There.
God, that is really seriously irritating. Like, that's not how those should sound. I'm gonna turn that one off because that's just too annoying. That's not how those particular birds would sound. Like, that's not how, you know. I mean, I suppose they could. It's you know, it's fantasy, but as far as what those birds are based on, that's not how they sound. So they are intended to be really irritating. So maybe that was the point. They just want to make them as annoying as possible. We definitely need to get the audio set up on your side though, because that spoiled it for me. I knew that it would have to be either that type or one other type.
Yeah.
And you know, there's very specific traits, I guess, to this type. So because I know some of that already, like if I didn't have the Sirenscape thing, I wouldn't have known what enemy type it was, and would have just gone by description. I still would have gotten it from the description anyway, but you know, I would rather have the surprise there. So we need to get your audio set up before next week, or next time you're going to run it. Make sure you're dragging all of these from the combat tracker, the tokens that you're putting on there.
Yeah.
If they're not in the combat tracker, it won't work. So. Oh, I have to clock out. So 1 second, I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back.
Okay, now on the mask mode thing, there, never mind. I think it was just lagging.
If it's a really big map, it does take it a minute. And that's one thing to be considering of, too, is that I think the error I'm getting might be because the image is too large. Yeah, because that's a really big map. So, like, you probably would have resized this map before we actually started, which is fine. It's not going to hurt anything. Like, it's loaded now, so we should be okay.
Okay.
I see us all on here and everything, so. We are facing... well, I guess... shit. Fantasy Grounds just crashed. Nope, okay. I'm okay. It's back. It just did it because you're revealing part of the map. Yeah, this map, the file is way too big. We'll be okay for this one. Just that's, you know, in the future
Next
you
time.
definitely need to resize them down, yeah.
I'll double check because I didn't even look at the size. I figured that some...
Whoever made it probably, you know, it made it for virtual tabletops, sure, but they didn't, you know, resize them to appropriate sizes for a virtual tabletop, so.
Okay. You know what? Give me just a second, or actually, go ahead and roll initiative, guys.
Okay.
Because, actually, did I? No, I didn't think I shared it. Hang on.
Oh, yeah, I have it, but it was because you'd already shared it to me, so go ahead and share it to everybody else, and we're in the bottom right corner, guys.
Incoming, Sako and Finn.
Oh, I forgot to roll my initiative with advantage, so... you might have to change my initiative for me here in a second, G, because I got to roll it the second time. I got a 22 and a natural 20, so actually change it to a 24.
Okay.
Oh, it actually, never mind, it did it already. Yeah.
Yeah, okay, awesome.
Oh man, mine sucked.
I've got fucking dice hacks so far. That's 2 natural 20s in this so far.
Yep. Okay, and when Ghost went walking around, he actually startled.
Oh, that makes sense why it was a squawk. I was curious what the squawk was.
Yeah. So he had startled them, and then you see they, one of them, the one that got scared, actually stands up and looks over at you guys, and then he has other friends that stand up and look at you guys too. Can you guys see him now? Okay,
Yep.
there we go.
Yep. Are they...
Mine's still loading.
Okay.
It'll be the bottom right corner too, Sako, so you'll need to... Not so little, Terry. You'll need to grab the corner and move all the way to the bottom right corner to find it too, Sako, because it's a really big map.
Yeah, so far the room that we're in is exposed with the 4 tokens.
Yeah, and then we're at the bottom of it. That's all you should be able to see right now.
Okay, I'm good.
And the bodies, G, are they all in the middle there then?
The bodies are actually along the walls. As I said, I'll double check and see. I think the bodies were supposed to be the north wall. I think where the where the stairs are.
Okay.
So,
all right, one second. Let the dogs back in. All right.
now that you guys know what it is, it was a little built-in picture there. So.
Okay. Yeah, they are Kenku. Yeah, they're Kenku then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are those supposed to be chickens or ravens?
So Kenku, you know what? I'm not okay, because that would be meta knowledge anyway. So I'm not going to tell Becky. You know, even though obviously she wouldn't give that information to Akasha, of course, but just so that Becky can learn it, you know, naturally through the game, what they are. What sucks about it is that there's an NPC coming up that is a Kenku that'll be around in Embers at some point. So that actually spoils it a little bit because I was, you know, looking forward to you guys not knowing what a Kenku was.
I already did.
Did you?
From other groups. Yeah.
Okay. Right.
But still, though, so then you'll see, or when they stand up, you see 4 short avian creatures with black feathers and beaks, and they look kind of surprised at first because they heard you guys coming, but they didn't think there was going to be a big giant cat, and cats like chicken for dinner. So, and each one of them is wearing a hooded cloak and navish.
Okay. Do they? So they've drawn these short swords. They're clearly, you know, threatening to us.
They're advancing on you guys.
Okay.
On their turns. So.
All right, then, yeah, I'm going to pull my spear out. Well, I guess, yeah, are we in initiative order now? Are we in combat?
Yeah, you guys go ahead.
Well, you gotta hit the combat thing, so we'll just start
shit.
it. Just hit the arrow to point there. Okay, all right.
There we go.
How threatening do they appear? I mean, they're not very big, right? Are they, you know, what, 4.5, 5 feet tall, something like that?
It doesn't say directly, but it does say that they're...
It does say that they're what?
They're short, so I'm guessing, yeah, probably 5 feet.
Okay.
So, and all of them are advancing on you with their weapon, and you don't know for sure, but you could assume they probably had something to do with what happened here. So,
okay.
They mean business.
This wall thing on the right side, is that like, you know, like there's the here, I'll put an arrow circle on this. So these right here, these posts, those posts are going up to the upper floor, right? But that wall, is that like a short wall, like we can see over it and see them?
You know what? Actually, that probably, I didn't even notice that is.
Is that supposed to be the upper floor?
Upper level. So those guys, I'm going to move.
Okay.
I wasn't paying attention to the fact that that's the upper level.
Okay, so that because we can't see the rest of the map. So where those stairs are, is this the stairs over here? Right there. Whoops, I pointed it the wrong way. It basically is that on the left side of that? Is that the stairs?
Yeah, because you can see that little tiny bit revealed, guys.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. Yeah, I just wasn't sure. I wasn't sure if that was stairs. Oh, okay. Now I can see it. Yeah,
I can reveal some more of that because you guys would be able to.
Okay.
You know, we can't see what's so much on the upper levels, but you guys would be to this lower level.
Okay.
Guys walked in because you guys did see those stairs.
These Kenku, do they appear to have any kind of a ranged weapon as far as I can see? Like, do I see, you know, their dagger, like throwing knives on their belt, or a bow, or anything like that, or just the short swords?
Let me double check, but it's just.
You'll see it in the combat tracker.
Excuse me. They also each have a short bow slung across their back.
Okay. Scaling is probably a bit off because that's really far, but it could be. It could be just a really giant warehouse.
My scaling probably just sucks. Want me to regrid it?
it doesn't really matter. It'll be fine. It just means that we'll be running towards them. So initially, then what I'm going to do is, since they do appear to have ranged a weapon of some kind, is that box that's between us and the two that are on the further. Like, is that box really tall?
It's a decent sized box, but you can see that there.
See them behind it. Okay.
Bird-like creatures back there. Not
Okay. All right. So no point in going for cover then. It seems like so. I am just going to run towards them, I suppose. So from here. So 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30 is as close as I can get. Is right there. And I'm going to mark the one that's in front of me. What'd you?
Sorry, I was going to say, you guys, if you guys want to, you can retcon and put yourselves where you guys would have been in here. Because
actually, we would
have to stay right in front of the door.
Well, if we were looking at the bodies and stuff, we actually would have been a little bit further in, actually.
Yeah, you guys go ahead and place yourselves where you think you would have been, and that's those bird guys were hiding behind those boxes and Ghost.
Okay.
They stood up.
Okay,
So
in that case,
you would have been at that time.
Well, where were the bodies though? Because if they were all over the place, like along the walls and stuff, then we probably would have been looking at them, or at least, we probably would have been starting to head towards the stairs anyway. So I'm going to leave myself where I am. Okay. Where would Akasha have been?
Yeah, you guys can start wherever you think you would have been.
Okay.
Because again, once you guys got to about here, that's when
they would have popped up.
So.
Okay.
But yeah, you guys can be even where Rob is if you guys want to be. If that's where you think you would have been. But the bodies are, there's a long wall over here where Akasha is, and then there's some over here too, the wall that goes up to the upper level, against those posts and stuff.
Okay. So. Well, I'm gonna then, as soon as they popped out, I would have been kind of starting to head towards the stairs to look around for where the source of the voices and stuff was coming from. So when they popped out, I'm gonna move over to, let's see, it'd be 5, 10, 15, yeah, 15 to get to here. God damn it, I keep turning my token. And just since they're clearly already trying to threaten us anyways, I'm gonna just as I'm coming around this one, just try to jab him in the gut with my spear. They're not favorite enemy, but he has not acted yet, so I will get advantage on the attack because he hasn't acted. Jab that fool for a 20.
And yeah, it hits obviously.
All right. Not favorite enemy, and I don't have poisons or anything on, so just that for an 11. And then after jabbing, I'm gonna yank it out and just spin it around and smack him in the back of the head with the butt end of the spear.
Okay.
For my bonus action. Natural 1.
And
Son of a bitch.
Let's see. Yes. The first one was a good hit though.
Yep.
Okay, that's funny. That doesn't make any sense narratively. It's hilarious though. A split second loud bang goes off, and you and all of your allies shrink. Next up.
You cut out just
next long rest.
You cut out just a little bit there. The loud bang what?
You guys all are supposed to shrink one size, so if whatever until your next long rest, and if you are tiny, you become gargantuan. So
yeah.
Like Psy or whatever would have been like a big giant, massive hound.
After that doesn't quite make sense.
Stupid, so we're not.
Yeah, some of them don't make any narrative sense at all. Like they really kind of break cohesion that way. But anyway,
funny. But that was definitely a good jab that you got him there, right in the gut. So he's not dead, but looks like he's
pretty wounded.
Pretty good hit there. So.
Okay. Then that is it for my turn. There you go.
All right, and that was okay. That's not the one that you hit. It is this guy's turn. His friend.
Yeah, the one that was beside him.
Mm-hmm. So seeing that you jabbed his friend there, he is going to step over here and try to hit you. Take a look at this stuff. Doesn't apply. That's interesting. Neither one of them really helped that much, but that's kind of cool though. So he is going to take his shot right down.
The auto sounds... No, that's cool. It sounds like the... They couldn't have, because there was nothing seen on my side, so that must have just been background noise from the background like music part of it.
Oh, damn it.
No, I'm hearing... Okay.
Little Jerry got a critical on you.
Great. Like that fucking troll. That troll got crits on me twice. One of them was like 18 or some shit. Like almost all my health. Okay, it is. It's
whip.
Yeah, it is. It's playing. Yeah, I guess I think I was probably just lagging. Like I didn't see the attack part on my side, but Sirenscape had already seen it.
All right, so Little, seeing his friend get stabbed, he comes over and swings the short and connects with a pretty decent hit there.
I didn't realize you can't see your own hit points very easily. You pretty much have to go back to the main tab, huh?
You have to look at your character sheet at the main tab.
Huh. I didn't realize that, so because I can see it in the combat tracker, so for everything. So I'll probably look for an extension to make that easier, like put it up at the top of the actions tab or something.
All right. And then this fella over here sees that there's combat going on over there, but then he also did notice that some other folks had come in, so he's going to come down over here. 15 and yeah, okay. And he's going to try to shoot Eldor with his short bow. Okay, I thought it was a one, but that does not connect. Goes sailing over somehow, over your big giant tall head, and
shrink
sticks
one
in the wall.
size, so I'm a smaller target.
There you go.
Hey, there you go. That's why.
And heads out towards that barking cat that's standing out at the door.
Does that mean Ghost got turned into a kitten?
All right, and not so little Jerry 4 over here.
With a gaping gut wound.
Yep, with a gaping gut wound, but he sees that his friend already got a good hit on you. To see if he can shoot Akasha with this bow from here, but he's actually going to.
You can have him like if your initial thought is that he would try to hit me, just have him try to hit me. G, it's not gonna offend me or hurt my feelings or something. I did just stab him. I mean, it would make sense probably for him to try to hit me.
Yeah. No, you guys are tougher than I think, and these guys are not super badass. So yeah, he's going to actually, since he did get stabbed. In all fairness, he's gonna.
Yeah, I mean, I just stabbed him in the gut, so him backing up and taking a bow and trying to shoot somebody else is less. Do it, however would be the correct way for how they, these NPCs would act. But it seems likely that he would try to hit me back.
Yeah, he would, and that is true. So I, gotta play to the nature of the game. But he missed anyway. So.
Okay.
And let's see, it is Eldor's turn.
All right, I'm gonna cast Bane on the 3 that I have targeted right now.
Nice. Bane was what made us survive, because I went over it with Ben. Like I figured out exactly how it was imbalanced. It wasn't anything Ben did. There was an adjustment thing that the book makes, but the Fantasy Grounds version didn't have that adjustment in there. So I showed Ben how to do all of that. But that's what happened last week. Basically, we literally, when we were doing that, or 2 weeks ago, that was a full power troll. That's basically something we should not have been fighting until level 4, and we were doing it at level 2. And we were actually doing it with one less person. So it would have been 4 people level 4 compared to 3 people of level 2. And we still beat him barely, so with some help.
All right, and
so in this case, remember, successes are good for them, bad for us.
So that, and none of them succeeded. So
They all failed?
So yeah. Awesome.
So with them targeted, if you click the Bane effect, then it'll automatically apply to all 3 of them, Sako.
Okay, there's just the Bane effect hit him.
Well, the one that says, not the one that says self, you're going to need to put that one up too, because that's going to be concentration for you. So the one that says Bane C self, click that. And then the other one that says like 1d4 or something, click that one also. Just once though.
Okay, just once, got it.
Yep, there you go, all set. You can actually see it in the combat tracker now too.
Yep, nice.
Right, and then for my movement, I'm just going to move back a little bit.
Okay.
Good to go.
Right. So they all got baned. So that would usually be what, G, in your opinion, like some smoke comes out, or something like that?
Really,
I shouldn't actually ask us out loud.
well, no, I mean you're still brand new. It's okay. Just ask all the questions you have. You know, this is how you get better at it. I just, I couldn't ask you guys because you guys were brand new too, so I had to Google basically everything and watch a ton of YouTube videos. But first, what I do in those cases is I look at the spell itself and then look at what the spell requires. So sometimes it'll have something like, if you look at the, here, let me bring up Bane and I'll check it out. It takes, it's VSM, so verbal, somatic, and material. Verbal meaning he has to say words, somatic meaning he has to make a hand motion, and M, the material, is a drop of blood. So I would usually try to incorporate, if there is a material component of some kind, into the narrative description of it, but then the text itself might say something. Like the text might say that it shoots out a bolt of purplish lightning, whatever. So you might use that, or depending on if I don't like how the description is, I might change it a little bit. But for example, for your death knell, I made it a modified version of Eldritch Blast. But this particular one, it doesn't give it any specific description as far as what it physically looks like. So I'd probably just say some narrative element of how he used the blood, and maybe blew it off of his hand, and this kind of red pinkish mist goes floating over the three of them, or something like that.
Okay. Yeah. Cool. Yeah. I'll just remember. Obviously, look at the spell next time.
Yeah. Don't even worry about it. Like that's not. I usually will do it the first couple of times that somebody uses a new spell, just because then we have an idea of it is. But I don't necessarily need to. You don't necessarily need to repeat it every single time that spell is used,
Okay.
just because everybody kind of knows at that point. But totally up to you how you want to handle it.
Yeah. Awesome. All right, and now the other one hiding behind the box. He is going to come out too. Sneaking past his buddy.
So you technically, it doesn't even matter right now, especially with this map being, like some of it being blurry, which is a little weird. Like I probably would have looked closer at the maps, to not buy those, unless it's supposed to be the second floor map. This could be that this is supposed to be the second floor. But anyway, doesn't matter. But he did, like he wouldn't have had room to go through that space, basically.
Yeah, because that box was there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he can't occupy the same space, even if it's friendly, until his friend moved.
All right.
But go ahead, it doesn't matter. Just keep that in mind for future use.
Yeah. All right, then we'll just say that he snuck past his buddy there.
Sure.
Say the boxes were just a little bit farther apart. So, and he is going to also see if he can hit Eldor with his bow, because he's not going to be able to get to him. That's not going to hit. Automatic miss.
Natural one.
Mm-hmm.
These guys belong to your guild name from Embers.
Yeah, for real.
This is the secret Kenku branch of the natural ones.
And on this one, nothing popped up automatically for the critical.
Okay, so he probably rolled a 1.
Table fumble.
Yeah, 1 through a 4. If it was a 5 or a 6, then it would have given you a special effect.
Okay. All right. So also that arrow goes going right past you too. This one doesn't go ahead. It just not even really that close to your arm.
Okay.
So he missed.
Yay! Finally. All right.
It goes a little faster once Ben gets used to it and everything too. A lot of it is just because he's still new.
All right. Well, seeing that guy come around the corner, I'm gonna go after him. Going to.
Plus, I think that's the guy that doesn't have Bane.
Yeah, that is the one that doesn't have Bane on him. The other 3 do.
Oh well, he's gonna get hunter's marked. So.
He's probably gonna get 1 shot most likely.
Do I put both of them on him, or just?
So first you have to no. So there's 2. There's one that should say self.
Yeah, and just hit it.
Yeah, and then you apply well, first you make the attack to see if it hits. Actually, no, never mind. You do put it on him because they put an if then in there. So yeah, you put the other effect on him. Yep, just like that. You're good.
All right, and 21. Yeah.
Gee.
I'm guessing that hit.
I'm sorry, that did hit. Yes, it did. Go ahead and roll your damage, please. Nice. And yeah, good total. Not straight death, but that arrow goes right into his neck and is still sticking in, and he falls over, and he is no longer moving.
15, 20, 25. I'm going over here.
Okay. And back to Rav.
My turn.
While you're doing stuff, give me just 1 second. Gotta go. I'll be right.
Okay.
Do your stuff over there.
Reggie. I wonder how far, because Ben said that the basically chapter 1, at the end of chapter 1, or when we start chapter 2 basically is when we'll be leveling to 3. And he said chapter 1 was longer than he thought, so I don't know. I wonder how much further, like it might be the end of this one, or maybe the beginning of the next session or something like that is where chapter 2 starts.
Oh, not too long. Then Ghost can get in here.
Yeah.
Start.
Did you look at that token? Will that one work for, at least for now?
Oh, yeah, that works.
Okay. I did 2 different layers of black and white to make it, because it was just a regular colored one, but I just tried to layer it so that it looked, you know, decently dark, because the regular black and white just made it look kind of funny for some reason. It didn't look good, in my opinion. But I just tried another round of it, and it worked fine. Whop! Shut up, dog. I'll whop you. Yeah, that's just a random whip noise that just happens to be in the fucking background all the time. I don't see it listed here. It must. Oh, there it is, whip crack. Yeah, it just plays every, I don't know, 30 seconds or something. Back, G?
Yep.
All right, the one that's in front of me. How wounded is he from that gut stab?
He is bloodied.
Okay, I'm going to try to just smack him square in the beak with the butt end of my spear again. For a 24.
Hits.
All right. Damn it! Rolled minimum damage.
Still decent though. He's looking hurt.
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and just. I think I'll try to finish him off. I'll just, after smacking him in I'll bring it back around and just try to slash with the side end of the spear on the back of his neck.
Okay.
Probably not with that. Got a 10. Misses.
That one. Yeah.
All right. I'm going to spin around. I'm gonna go between them. I'm gonna. Well, I probably can't move between them. I'm just gonna stay where I am.
Okay. Yeah, number 4 is definitely hurting. Alright, and this one is going to see if he can. Number 1's turn, he's gonna see if he can hit you with a sword. But he does not. That bane is awesome. Swings, misses, goes wide.
Okay.
You step out of the way. And that's all he can do. And let's see. It is the one over here's turn. So he saw his buddy take an arrow. So he is going to shoot a little bit. Which one do you get a little closer here and see if he can shoot a Tasha? And it hits.
So that's good. That is anytime that somebody has. Yeah, exactly. She succeeded. It was her success. So basically, that's good for us. Meaning, basically, anybody that has concentration up, like both Akasha and Eldor do right now, if they get hit, it'll automatically roll a concentration check, and you can see the result there. Basically, she got an 18 versus a 10. So if the DC if she had gotten less than a 10, the spell would have dropped.
Awesome. But yes, you succeeded on your concentration save, babe, and took an arrow in the leg.
It's an archery duel.
Alright, now it's number 4's turn.
He's the one that's gotten beat up. Yeah.
And he's not looking so good. Still seeing you there. He's gonna see if he can try to get you again with his short sword. And he hits. For a minimum damage. So he takes another swing at you, but he doesn't get you for it. cut on the arm, a decent one. It ain't severed.
Cool.
Eldor.
All right, I'm gonna move a little bit here. Shifting here to the side. Out of Not So Little Jerry 4 and Not So Little Jerry, which one looks more wounded?
4 is almost dead.
Is not doing, and the other Not So Little Jerry, he is healthy.
Yeah.
So number 4 is pretty beat up.
Yeah. The one that
Gotcha.
the 4, the one that's on the right to the right of me, is the one that I got wounded and whacked with my spear, and the other one hasn't been touched yet.
All right, I'm gonna cast Toll the Dead on 4.
Okay. And he did not save. So that's the D12 damage one, right? Since he's hurt.
It's whatever the higher one is, yeah, because he's already hurt.
Yeah, D12.
So he failed his roll or his save.
He
So
did not succeed. And he is toast.
yay. Good job, Sako.
Yeah, that one
Toast that stupid bird for stabbing at me.
kicked his ass. So he fucking zapped his ass and he falls over. He's not completely dead, but he's unconscious, not moving. And then now that the other two see that apparently this isn't going so good, even though they had you guys outnumbered, that they're saying fuck this, and they are going to try to get away. So he is going to.
Well, hang on.
Is
You have to wait till their turns.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and then also at least the one that doesn't have a number, the Not So Little Jerry, if he tries to get away from me, unless he disengages, I'll get an opportunity attack.
Yeah.
But it has to be on their turns anyway, so.
Any bonus to Sako?
No. All I can do is spare the dying.
You could keep one of these guys from. Never mind. That's not something I would shout in the fight, but yeah, I mean, it could be something we could interrogate to try to get some information from these guys. But that's a little more complicated. That might make Ben a little bit like awkward at first because you wouldn't necessarily know how to handle that just yet.
Well, since you just said it, I'm assuming you might have yelled that out to them.
I mean, I could have.
There's a chance for you guys in written.
Okay, so if you have material prepared for that, then even if it's next session or something like that, then we could potentially try to keep one of these guys. So if you did spare the dying on one of these just to stabilize them, then we could wake them up afterwards. Just one of the two that's already down. If the other two get away or not doesn't really matter, but we could basically interrogate one of the ones that's still down. So this just to keep in mind.
Yeah.
You did notice when that second one fell dead that they both seemed very alert and they're trying to make a dash for it. So they don't look like they want to fight you guys anymore. They're scared.
Okay.
The two that are still.
Yeah, I don't care. I'm still gonna hit.
Okay, and that hit
You shot
on
me, so it's only fair.
Absolutely. Go ahead and roll your damage.
Oh, I'm still down to kill all of them. Just if we can keep one alive, great. But no big deal if not.
Shouldn't that have?
It's the principle.
Oh no, it's the other one that had Hunter's Mark. Never mind.
You already killed him, but that.
But you get
killed
to.
him, so.
Okay, what was I forget again? What's the means of moving it? It doesn't take a bonus action, right? As long as you kill it.
Yeah, it's a bonus action to move it to a new
Okay.
creature.
Okay.
Okay. Well, he's dead anyway, but otherwise I would have said you could have retconned. But it doesn't matter. You killed him.
It's fine.
So he takes another arrow. That one actually goes up. Sticking in through his head. He's dead too. Alright. And...
My turn. These guys look pretty weak anyways. I think to basically not necessarily, because I wouldn't necessarily know that Eldor would have the means of spare the dying at all. So I think what I'll do is I'm going to. This one is trying to turn and run, right?
This one actually, he was getting ready to turn and run, and he sees the other one take another arrow. He just drops his wings, hands up.
Okay. Then I'm going to.
Squawks out. I don't want to die.
Okay, so there's okay. That's good. That actually helps for the embers, one that you guys might see at some point. All right, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my spear point at his neck and back him into the corner over here. Just, like push him, make him, I can't move him, you'll have to do it, to that corner with the box, basically, so that he can't escape without, going through my spear.
Here?
If you move him, yeah, basically there. Yeah, all the way into the corner. You can't, because the grid, you can't move him any further, but basically point him up there and then held in there with my spear so that he can't move. And then, we can interrogate him that way. Okay. Yeah, the other thing, if you had this set up, you would be using the other top-down tokens anyway, so you could use that for facing, but it doesn't matter at the moment. So, I don't know if I have... you know what? I definitely do. I have some Kenku tokens in there that would have worked fine for this, too. So, anyway. All right. Let's see, here we go. Change this so it's not playing that battle music anymore. So spear to him then. He does seem like he can talk then, since he said, put his hands up and he said he doesn't want to die.
Yeah.
All right, then I'll just tell him, all right, well then you need to talk.
He says, give me a second, let me read what he has on here.
Yeah, go ahead, G. We've got to wrap it up here shortly anyways.
Okay.
But, we can probably finish this little interrogation, maybe get some information out of him.
When he said that, he kind of squawked, like in this really high-pitched bird voice. He said, I want to die. And then after that, when you tell him, when you interrogate him and tell him to talk, he actually changes his voice, like he is mimicking it. And this one is in a deep voice with an Orcish accent. And he says, Xanathar sends its regards. And then he changes his voice again, and in this really thin, nasally voice, says, tie up the pretty boy in the back room and follow the signs in the sewers.
Okay. So...
And then there's one more voice, and it's kind of a scratchy voice. All right, no time to loot the place. Just get him to the boss. And he said, right, all I know. In his high-pitched voice again. Not mimicking a voice that time.
Okay. For, I guess, not for Eldor and Akasha, do Sako and Becky understand what just happened there? Probably not, right? I mean, because it's a very specific thing, unless you guys already know how these guys work.
Kind of, but not 100%. So,
Kenku are mimicked after crows, and crows, for the same reason, don't... they like to mimic people, right? So if they hear a sound, and they'll make that sound back, like a parrot does, kind of like how a parrot will talk. Same kind of thing for crows. And that's what Kenku are. They're humanoid crows. They can't speak on their own. They don't have a they can't create words and create sentences. They have to repeat what they've already heard. So usually it'll be they've heard a sentence and they'll just repeat that back, and that sentence kind of closely means what their own version of that might mean. So they'll just repeat a phrase over and over again sometimes. And in this particular case, the reason that he was mimicking, I'm just saying this by the way to Sako and Becky so they understand what's happening here. So he was mimicking the orders that he got. He got orders from some kind of an orc, which is why he was mimicking an orcish voice to tie up the pretty boy, etc. So he was just repeating back what his orders were from the person that told it to him, exactly the cadence, exactly the voice, etc. That's what we're hearing back. You're not actually hearing that other person's voice. It's basically just hearing a crow trying to mimic that voice, but they're good at that. So basically Kenku can't communicate very well. That's a very difficult, so you couldn't ask him a creative question because you're just going to get a parroted version back that is the closest they can think of that would answer your question, if that makes sense.
That makes sense.
So we probably won't be able to get a whole lot out of him, but he had told us everything we needed to know. Tie up the pretty boy probably means either the nobleman is tied up back there or Floon is tied up back there, which is what they were originally ordered to do. That doesn't necessarily mean he's still there, because that would have been 3 days previous maybe. But these guys were obviously sent here to probably finish off those guys with the snake tattoos. So back narratively, back in character then. What else what do you guys want to do about this? I don't know how much information we're going to be able to get out of this dumb bird.
Do you guys remember the 3 things that I said? I can do it again with voices.
You can throw them in the chat there. Usually if it's in a box, like if the thing has a text box around it, if you just click the little button in the top left of it, looks like a little speech window, it'll paste it automatically into the box. But one of them was tie up the pretty boy in the back room.
Xanathar sent its regards.
Yeah, that was the first one, yeah.
Tie up the pretty boy in the back room. Follow the yellow signs in the sewers, and no time to loot the place. Just get him to the boss.
Okay. I just want to keep my notes for it too, but
I'll type it out in the thing.
Well, it probably has it. You probably don't even need to type it. Does it have a box around it?
This isn't in a box, but this isn't one of the things that's a box. Has a
Okay.
box around it.
Okay. Let's see.
Oh, by the way, while this whole conversation is happening, Ghost is trying to eat one of those things.
Is he
Just
taking
rushing and trying to chew it, like eat for feathers and shit.
Yep.
Follow the yellow signs in the sewer,
Yep.
and then
Follow the yellow signs in the sewers.
and what was the last one?
No time to loot the place. Just get him to the boss.
All right, then I'm going to ask our Kenku friend here, did they already take the prisoner? Is he still here, or did they already take the prisoner? Now, remember, this is why I said that we could probably skip past this part for now, because specifically doing an interrogation with a Kenku would be hard, because you, as the DM, would be having to parrot it back in a somewhat nonsensical correct answer, but that is much harder. Like that'll even be hard for me to do. So don't worry about it. Just whatever he would be saying, you can just kind of paraphrase rather than maybe what he's actually like verbatim saying, if that's easier for you.
Okay. Basically, he says, just saw one, other one, don't know.
One prisoner?
Just one.
Sorry, I'm taking notes here. The one that was taken, red hair?
Double check.
I'm asking if they took Floon or if Rainier Neverember was the captive.
No red.
No red. Okay, so it's probably not. It's not Floon then. They took Rainier, which makes more sense because he's a noble. He would probably be worth more to ransom back or whatever. How long have you been here?
A few days.
Then you saw two men come in here, the captive and one other, right?
You know what? It doesn't really say anything about that on here, so I'm just gonna say that he doesn't know much else.
Okay.
So,
He may
I
not
don't
have seen
wanna
it anyways.
Yeah, I don't want to accidentally ruin the story, because the section for what the actual Kenku know is just the stuff that I already
Okay.
told you guys.
Yeah.
So I just don't want to accidentally ruin the story if I say something wrong.
Nope. Totally fine.
Get it wrong after retcon or whatever.
Yep. Totally
So
fine.
basically, that's all he knows is that pretty much the one in the back does not have red hair. There's one tied up in the back, and then Xanathar sends his regards and the other things that I was telling you guys.
All right. So you were supposed to take the one that's tied up in the back. You were supposed to take him to the boss, right?
Yeah.
And your boss is Xanathar.
Yes.
I mean, Xanathar sends his regards, so I assume so. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's all I needed. How about you guys? You want me just to poke this on through?
That was about
Yeah.
right. That was everything.
We'll have ourselves a turkey dinner.
Oh, I'll let Ghost eat that one too.
You think you can eat 4 whole Kenku? He's gonna be a fat lion in a few days.
Yeah. No.
And just bits and pieces.
Well, what do you guys think? Should we let him go or finish him off? I mean, this guy hasn't been touched yet. He could go back as a warning. I mean, really, for us, that's bad news. We don't have much clout, and Xanathar does.
Yeah. Do we really want Xanathar to know that we're killing off his people?
Well, here's the thing. What I'm looking at with all of these bodies around, they would presume, unless they've already gotten word back somehow, if these guys die in the middle of this and we're not here, they might assume that these all died in the same battle that the other 12 have died in. The 5 Xanathar guy, no, not Xanathar, the guys with the snake guys, and then whoever the other 7 were, one of them with that black tattoo. But if they all just died in one big battle, they don't necessarily even need to know anything about us until we, reveal ourselves.
Well, while you guys are discussing this, I'm just moving the bodies together into a spooning position just to make things look really awkward.
With a black, it was a black star tattoo, right? Like a sun with spokes?
Yeah, it was black. Let me see. I'll double check it, but
Like a wheel with spokes or something like that?
Like a circle thing with 10 spokes coming out of it. That
Okay.
was black. Let me double check though. Yep, on the right hand, it looks like a circle with 10 spokes radiating out from it.
Okay. Okay. All right, then I guess we need to go ahead and finish this off. So I'll just pat him very gently on the head and then just poke the spear on through his neck.
Okay. So he gets bled out, and he is toast as well. There's no reason to even roll that, because obviously you're just going to kill him.
Yeah, I mean, he could try to fight back, but it would be kind of pointless.
Yeah, he wouldn't really be able to do much, even if he did try to move. DC would probably be super high to even try to get past, because he would just jab him as soon as he moved. So
right.
when you're going to roll.
Then with him bleeding out and dying on the ground, I'm going to go ahead and pull my bottle out, take another big swig, and then turning around to Akasha and Eldor. Well, it sounds like it's probably the nobleman is back here somewhere. You guys want to search the place and find him?
Check upstairs.
Yeah, the noise that we made here, we probably would have seen anyone else if they were here, but we probably still want to be careful just in case. So, we'll maybe make our way upstairs and just quietly try to avoid any potential traps, things like that. We don't want to walk into an ambush.
Ghost has keen smell, so I could have him try to sniff him out.
That's a good idea.
Can he do any rolls yet, though? Because you're not. Can he actually do rolls yet?
He's not a combat pet yet, but he's still a feature. He's still an NPC that could act.
Okay.
He just couldn't. He can't fight yet. So I mean, that's how I would rule it anyway.
Alright, so what do you roll for keen smell?
You would roll a perception check, and you would have advantage on it. If there's a smell based, if it's something sight based, you would not get advantage. But if he's smelling, if there's other people in here, then the thing is he can't talk to you. So like he'd have to have a means of alerting you, like basically putting his ears up like a dog would, for example. But if you maybe send him up the stairs and then, he's just sniffing before, where he wouldn't be visible yet potentially, but, up like halfway up the stairs and is just sniffing the air. If there's something that could potentially be revealed via scent, then, Ben would have you roll it for a perception check.
Bark like a cat.
Do you want me to roll it?
G?
Oh, give me just a second. I don't think it would matter. Give me just 1 second, though.
Sure.
All right, when you send Ghost up there, he starts sniffing around, and he kind of shakes his head a little bit and sneezes. So something kind of smells not so good up there.
Great, something dead. Now, quick side note there, G, you would still normally have a roll anyways, because by telling her that it wouldn't matter, I've done that a few times too. It's something that you'll just naturally, eventually kind of stop doing. It's not a big deal. I still do it every once in a while too. But by telling her that it wouldn't matter, you tell her there isn't anything there to smell. And then we, as players, know that. The characters wouldn't, so we still have to kind of operate on that, and that can make it a little bit complicated when you're talking about meta-knowledge. But you would still generally just have a roll anyways, even if there isn't anything to report. It doesn't matter. You would still have a roll so that we as players still think maybe there is, maybe there isn't. Does that make sense?
Okay. Yeah. All right. Actually, go ahead and make a roll, Vince.
Well, it doesn't matter now.
Well, no, it's just because that's the thing. It's like it's not going to be a huge thing, but it could just be a little bit
Sure.
more for a second.
Okay.
You shouldn't have told him that it didn't matter. It didn't matter, Jeremy. Roll for it.
Yeah. Then we would just automatically know.
Okay. Yeah, that's a pretty good roll. And then when he kind of shakes his head like something doesn't smell good up there, and then he kind of peeks his ears up though, like he saw something back there moving. So.
All right, then
he doesn't seem like he didn't put his hackles up or start to get defensive or anything, but his ears perked up, so he smelled something that didn't smell so good, and then he saw something. I'm assuming something must have moved because cats, as soon as something moves, their ears go right to it. So
I'm gonna head to the base of the stairs to start to go up past him. I'm gonna look back first at Akasha and kind of. The thing is, I don't know of any visual way of doing this without making noise. I'm gonna put my hand out basically over Ghost, but not actually petting him yet, and then look back at her to like, is he gonna try to bite me if I just pat him as I walk past?
No, he should be fine. I'll just give you a thumbs up.
He'll give. Oh, you will. It's like
I
will. So I'm just gonna kind of pat him gently on the head as I step up past him up the stairs, kind of going slow. I'm gonna stealth actually up there just in case. Let's see. There you go. Oh, I'm not used to using the tower, of course, but should have used the tower there. But kind of.
I didn't think about that.
Huh?
Yeah. I said I didn't even think about that. Yeah, that would have been a tower roll.
Yeah.
But Yeah.
But kind of keeping my head low so that just the top of my head and my eyes are above the floor line, so I can actually look around along the floor. Is there anything on the floor, like a body or anything like that, laying on the floor, on the top stairs?
When you look up in there, you see hang on, let me bring it back up. But when you look up in there, you see that when you start to get up there, it smells like rotten fish and vinegar. That's, you're assuming, why Ghost had that funny look on his face. And there's discarded ropes on the ground and some smashed barrels, and you see that actually standing there is a guy in nice looking clothes, and he's kind of over in the corner looking kind of scared, and you would assume you can hear him breathing pretty loud. So
discarded ropes, like he just freed himself from being tied up?
You would assume so.
Okay.
There's ropes on the ground that look, you would assume, because he's hiding in the corner, so you're assuming he is the prisoner that the Kenku was talking about, so you would assume those were his spawns.
All right, then as hard as I possibly can, I'm going to launch my spirit and hit him in the neck.
Cool. Ahead, with advantage.
No, that's the kind of murder hobo asshole player that ruins games.
I was also going to say, I removed those Kenku bodies off. Are still in the position they fell.
Yeah, that's fine.
I just wanted to get them off the map.
Yeah.
So.
All right. Well, do you want to? We should probably just go ahead and call it here. What do you guys think? And then we'll pick up here next week. I guess you know what, G. What I wanted to ask, actually, I suppose, and I actually asked this while you were AFK, and I forgot to bring it back up. How much more is in chat? Like, is this the end of chapter 1? Like, basically.
No, actually, it looked like there was still a decent amount. A little bit more after this, at least. So I'll double check, but I think there's a little bit more after this. I didn't want to say let's cap it here if there's if this was like this conversation, then we're done with chapter 1 or something. So okay, then you guys want to go ahead and call it here and pick up. Did you close the server, G? Oh crap! Yes. Sorry,
Whoops.
I was trying to close a map and I hit the wrong fucking button.
Okay. All right. Well, that's a good reason. We might as well just call it here then.
Because I was trying to. There was